Say goodbye to the world as you know it.
I'm opening lines.
Yo, yo, yo.
It's a bird. It's a plane. Wait, stop.
It's an alien.
Hey, welcome to the Matrix.
It's an alien.
And we are aliens. I got Mike in the spot and one of the coolest dudes ever, Cepta.
What's up, y'all? What's
Yeah.
up?
How's everybody doing today?
Beautiful, dog.
Wonderful.
Beautiful weather, beautiful day.
Yeah, it almost hit 80 today. I was like, love California, man.
I mean, at the same time that it's beautiful, there's something wrong because we're supposed to be in winter.
Right? It's a desert.
Quiet you.
So Cepta, man, one of the coolest dudes ever is in the podcast right now, in the flesh. This is an amazing...
One love, y'all. One love.
This
I'm
is
glad
an
to be
amazing
here.
experience. One of the things that has always resonated with me is something you mentioned in your music. And you would always say, anything is possible, you got to believe it. And that shit is gold to me. You know why? I say shit. That gold is gold to me. You know why? Because it is
That
so
golden
true.
shit.
Look what I'm doing right now, dude. I got technology on my side where we can push a button and talk to the world, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, bro? So I'm happy to have you on the show.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here. It's my honor, man. Thank you.
And we can change things, Cepta. We can. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that. And I believe in you. And I believe in what you speak on. I'm a big fan of your music. And I know we've collaborated on a lot of tracks before. But I know you came here to specifically talk about things that you've been wanting to get off your chest. So anyway, how do you want to break this down, brother, for the crowd out there?
Jeez. Like that, I love that. Basically, my people, I think you need to realize and see that all of us are the same. Successful or not successful, we all start at the same position. So the very fact that you get success or you go religious and you don't do it, there's no such thing as being better than anyone else, because let's look at it collectively.
Are you sure? What about Michael Jordan? No, I'm just kidding.
Unless you're wearing Jordans.
Just play, man.
No, but even like athletes, you know, like we are all the same. And I think, like back in the day, you know, there used to be more community. We used to help each other out, and now it's like, okay, it's a free for all. Grab as much as you can. It's all about you and your family. And excuse my language, but fuck the other person. And no, it's not about that.
Seems like it has been through over time. Like,
Oh yeah.
we have helped each other at the same time. We've mutilated people. Like we were talking over the phone yesterday, how Christians have slaughtered many over the years, and
Yeah.
you see Christians today like, what would Jesus do? It's like, well, what did all those people do because of Jesus? And not that I'm trying to at all bastardize Jesus, because I think if he was actually a real person, because I wasn't around at that time,
Yeah, exactly.
and he stood for love, and even though people killed him, and he still said forgive them, even though he might not be God at all. He might have been this crazy guy like this video I'm about to pull up right now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm reading the Quran right now, so I mean, it's a beautiful read, and it's funny. I'm going to mention something about that. A lot of people be like, and this is a lot of ignorant people that watch Fox News mostly. I would imagine, or listen to mainstream, and there's absolutely no reference to anything terroristic, anything violent, none of that. It's like reading, it's an extension of the Bible. So it's a trip, man. And going back on religion, and I know we're not supposed to talk about religion because a lot of people get sensitive about it, dude.
I think that's a problem. I
It is.
think that's a problem. I think people need to talk about
yeah.
it more often without getting offended, having an
Exactly.
open mind, having a compromise, being tolerant, And I think too many people just are hush-hush about it,
Here's the thing, I think, is regardless of what is what, regardless of what your culture taught you, regardless of everything, all of us are connected. All of us occupy this earth, and if all of us don't do enough to preserve it, whether if it's I'm not going to say cut emissions. There's so much stuff going around that climate shift is a sham. The earth is naturally heating itself. That could be, and it could be that we are degrading our home. But
I'd say we do contribute to it.
Oh yeah,
I think that's no denying that. Like we do contribute to it.
I think we sped up the process,
There you
but
go.
I think it's a natural process, because look at how many laws are coming up to where cap and trade, and it's like, okay, well, you get taxed for polluting, and it's like, dude, Why are you charging more money to pollute when you should be reducing these emissions?
But people could trade those for money.
Exactly.
Right?
Which is kind of contradictory to the solution.
How does
which
that
is,
solve anything?
it doesn't. It furthers the business.
Back to
Exactly.
that religious thing, though. I want to show you this video
Straight
and
up.
get your opinion on it, because it's pretty creepy.
In a tattoo parlor on trendy South Beach
Is it the 666 really big? Yeah.
sat the daughter of the man who claims to be God.
He's back. He's here to teach us that we should reign in life, that there is no sin, and today we're honoring him with this symbol.
Joanne de Jesus is one of several dozen members of a religious sect called Creciendo en Gracia, or Growing in Grace. They were tattooed on their arms, ankles, even their necks with 666, the biblical sign of the Antichrist. Why? Because their spiritual leader says he is the Antichrist, not the embodiment of evil, but rather the second coming.
666, Antichrist means do not put your eyes on Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Put it in Jesus after the cross.
And that's you.
That's me.
Andy says the word Antichrist is a bad translation of a word that actually means the new Christ, the second coming. Puerto Rican-born Jose Luis de Jesus
This is
Moran
pissing off Cepta. What's up, man? Shaking your head, bro. What's up, man?
Nah,
Let it out.
I
No.
think he wants to get a tattoo now.
Oh,
I already have my tattoo. It's hip hop. Sorry. It's just look at that.
777?
That's my religion right there. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. I remember when you had just barely got that tat. That's
how
what's
does
up.
666 mean good? It just drives me crazy.
You know what? Here, check this out.
Because all my life I've heard 666.
Here's a little food for thought, though. How do we know that 666 means negative?
Exactly.
You know, because remember, like, everything started from something. Like, somebody wrote the Bible in the perspective of them as they viewed it. So you think of that, right? You get the Bible in someone else's perspective, right?
Yeah.
So then you read it, and let's say you believe it literally. Don't take it metaphorically. You just believe it literally. You know, look, I could say the number 7 is sacred because God talked to me, and if I have a way of convincing people, you know, it's a cult. Think about it. Okay, this might get some people mad, but it's okay. Isn't a religion kind of like a cult? Because you're just believing in it and you're going with it. They call that faith, you know? Like, isn't that kind of cultish, you know?
Would define cult.
Well, cult being a following. You know, you believe in something, like a leader.
And that's another, we can use many words. Sheep, you know, followers, groupies. There's tons of words we can use, but I hear what you're saying. Words that are made up can be, I just discovered the word ass. I mean, asset. Yeah, these words you can chop up and people don't get it. They're using words that actually have a meaning, but we've diluted them. We've used them for other prerogatives. So I don't know. But anyway, let's flip this real quick because, I mean, let me just listen to a little bit more of this.
Miranda founded the sect 20 years ago in a warehouse outside Miami.
You receive it, you accept it, you confess it, and it's done unto you.
The charismatic 61-year-old de Jesus claims millions of followers, most in Latin America. His sect does have hundreds of churches, cable TV stations, and says it brought in $1.4 million in donations last year. And he boasts of a rapidly growing presence in the United States. In an interview with us in September, he declared,
I do greater things than Jesus of Nazareth.
Wow.
Much greater.
now sporting his new tattoos,
6, 6, 6. Triple S. Ah.
De Jesus says those expecting the second coming of Christ on a cloud with angels have misinterpreted what Jesus himself said.
He said it. You won't see me anymore because he will come in another body, which is me. It's in their head. It's inside
Can I
their
say
head.
something real quick?
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about Jesus is in the Quran, he's a prophet. He's not the son of God. So what does that say about the Quran? So is Jesus God? You talk to Christians and Catholics? Yeah. You talk to people that believe, you know, in the Muslim faith that read the Quran, he's a prophet. So how can this man be the embodiment of Jesus? Is he a prophet? That's what makes me not believe this. You know, and
Were you brought up religious?
I was.
You were?
I was.
Catholic, I'm
I was
guessing?
a Catholic, yeah.
Okay. See, I'm pretty good at stereotyping.
You know what's funny is that it's the Matrix.
Yeah,
It just shows.
You know, I was watching just random documentaries, and they made a really good point on it. I was watching a lot of stuff about slavery because that's pretty much what drove this country.
Yeah.
And I speak about this consistently, saying it's a business, you know. But one point I wanted to bring up was that slavery existed much longer than freedom has lasted.
Yeah.
So just to give you an understanding and some comprehension of certain people, that they would have these people and see no human value to their life. All they saw was their workforce. You know what I mean? So this is where we live. We are American citizens. We are in America. And I mean, the slave trade in itself was disgusting. You know, I mean, this whole country was built off that. And then they want to wonder why blacks are at a disadvantage. Yeah. It's like, dude, you went from being taken from your homeland across an ocean to an unknown land, and then you're a slave, you know? And I was seeing how some of them, they would allow them to go ahead and live on their property, but they could go ahead and crop, you know, share crop and all that, and they would profit off it. And it was just crazy, man, like this whole concept. I mean, I know I'm getting off a little bit of track, but I just want to bring,
perfect.
I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was an interesting fact, that we've been more under slavery than we have freedom.
Well, could I add something to that?
Of course.
Well, let's look at why they got enslaved, you know? Like, let's look at why they remained enslaved for so long. And we're not just talking about blacks. We're talking about anyone that's been enslaved.
Yeah.
They had no identity. Black people couldn't have birth certificates.
Yeah.
You know, there were so many things that other people could do that they couldn't do because they were black. So it dehumanized them.
Exactly.
They had no basis of who they were, no identity. Same thing they did with Mesoamerican, you know, what was Mexico back in the day, you know, when the Indians were occupying America. You know, we had our own religions. We had our own way of being. And then you had, you know, conquerors from Spain, from Europe that came in with what? Catholic, you know, Christians. They had a Jesus and a Jesus that died on the cross.
Exactly.
They came over there to another region of the world that didn't believe in that.
Because I feel like history is just being eroded and like just washed away. Like it just seems like the average person is not really aware of the true history. And when I say the true history, I'm not saying I'm completely right, but I'm saying I've done a little bit more research. I've dug a little bit more compared to just a average Joe that just goes to school, goes through the process, and you become a robot because pretty much you become they train you to be somebody else's little slave and little bitch, you know? And they call it like, oh, get an internship, and like, oh, get experience. And they classify all these certain things, and they don't push you to be an entrepreneur. They don't really push you to have dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, before we go off this topic, I wanted to add something because you're like, they were, I don't want to use the word because it's really disrespectful, but they were called house, you know.
Yeah.
So
just say it, man.
The Uncle
people
Toms.
The Uncle Toms.
The Uncle Toms.
The Uncle Toms is
Uncle Toms.
Yeah. There you go.
So if you look at it, so if you look at it, like, because we're talking about that. You have to adopt the way of living and being what the white men at the time wanted you to be. So you had to basically alienate yourself. I'm thinking, you know, if there's anyone out there that knows more, please chime in. But I'm thinking.
What does alienate mean?
You
Like
separate
aliens?
yourself. You had to separate yourself.
Oh, I think you mean like aliens.
You had to you had to distinguish yourself or separate yourself from the rest of the pack to be like, okay, I know I'm slave. I'll do whatever it takes to live in the house.
Yeah.
So if you can't read, you won't read. You won't even make an attempt to it. You won't try to get yourself out of it.
Man, you just hit a vital point that you said read, because these people have been held back in their education. So how do you expect them to compete?
Exactly.
You know, it's mind-boggling to me how people just don't see that. They don't see the disadvantage that is so clear-cut. And it's just wild.
And you know,
That's scary,
and
dude.
you know the crazy thing, dude, is that the same people or the same families, the same bloodlines
They're still alive.
that did that, their grandchildren or their grandchildren are doing the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing with Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany, it never ceased to exist.
It never lost the war. We imported them.
What happened is it became a part of the United States military.
Yeah.
It became the CIA. It became all of these rogue agencies that did kill John F. Kennedy and all these people that died.
Since we're on that topic, what about this whole thing in Paris? I mean, have you seen that?
Yes.
It's pretty wild, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, I was listening to this thing the other day.
Can we break it down real quick before we get into our details of what we feel about it? What exactly happened?
So basically there was some offensive drawings of Muhammad
Okay.
It's
So-
In
published in a magazine.
In a magazine.
right?
It's like TMZ.
In France?
Yes, and they got warned 3 times. They got firebombed.
Yeah, in 2011 or something.
2012 or 11 or
Yeah, something like
So they
that.
were warned various times by the Muslim, I don't want to say extremists, because a lot of people be like, oh, well, that's extreme. Look, dude, you fuck with somebody's religion, dude, you're playing with fire. So I don't get.
But we're told our whole life, freedom of speech. You have to defend it till the death.
I
You
have
know what
the
I'm
freedom.
saying?
I have the freedom to go up to any woman I want to and call her a bitch, but I'm not going to
Why?
because it's respect, bro.
But the thing is, respect. What is respect in your eyes? You'd have to define it.
I think respect is
Are we going by Webster's dictionary or
no.
No, think about what I just said.
Septicon.
Webster's dictionary or Cepta's dictionary. Webster was like a dude that wrote words were racist.
We're going by morality here.
True.
and
We're
where does
going-
morality come from?
Morality is it's moral, bro. If you don't want anything to happen to you, if you wouldn't be comfortable with anything happening to you, why would you do it to another person?
Then why would the slave owners do that? Wouldn't they, in their minds, be like consider themselves moral people,
No,
even though they're slave owners?
Look,
Like
it's-
this is and I'm not trying to. It's a trick
No,
question.
no, this is
and,
good.
and the
I like
reason
that.
I'm trying to bring that up is just because like this is the world we live in. Like they don't live so great, but fuck them.
Look,
you know what I mean?
it's the
That's
same-
the mentality. It's crazy.
It's the same thing when you have ISIS using the Quran to kill people. When you have ISIS using the Quran to manipulate people, to go and fight for them. Because, okay, reckon, I've only made it 11 pages deep. It's love, though. It's the same thing. It makes no mention to go and do God's bidding by killing.
And one thing I want to bring
So
up.
real quick,
Yeah.
let me finish my
Yeah,
point.
go ahead.
Going to what you said, the slave master flips it. You
Yeah.
could flip it to mold to make your. It's the same thing with the 666 guy that we heard right now.
guy's a
He's
joke,
grabbing
bro.
the concept of what so many people believe in and to be righteous, and he's twisting it.
But
to-
what if, and this is just because I like to, what if this guy truly believes that? What if this guy in his mind, like when we had Nick here, like these guys are talking about like, look, I talk to God. I hear him. Like
talk
I
to God,
literally hear his voice. Like,
Yeah.
like
Wait,
there-
you talk to
know
God?
what I'm saying?
I talk to God.
Which God?
You know the funny thing about my God? My God has no face.
I thought you were gonna say, "Mind your fucking business, God." Motherfucker.
My God has no face. My God has no body. My God has no place to exist in. Most people be like, that's Satanism. No, it's not. Because I know I'm not my own God. I know there's a superior being to me. But I'm not going to confine God to one religion, to one make, to one mold, because it's... How do I know that?
I remember you were saying in your verse, "God is not religion, but more like a friend."
Yes.
I stick to your lyrics, bro, because I
Yes.
feel like you're authentic. Like you're a dude that's been through some shit like me. You're a dude that has something to say like me. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I do feel passionate about it, and I know you're passionate. And when you come out with these lyrics, dude, I feel them because I know what you're saying isn't fucking someone paying you saying, "Yo, Cepta, say this, say that."
Yeah.
You're like, "Yo, this is coming from how I feel. I really fucking feel like in my heart. Like you're not gonna stop that." And that's exactly how I feel, dude. And that's why I respect you as an artist, bro.
I would rather
Fist pump.
I would rather quit music than to go against what is me.
Yeah,
you know? So,
and the same thing with this podcast. Like, I would never let it change. If a sponsor came in and said, "Yo, start changing this, start changing that, brush your teeth," I'd be like, "Fuck you."
Our next commercial is by Colgate. Consume our fluoride, please.
Don't have teeth like DJ Lou. Yeah.
Hey, one of the ironic things though with the whole French thing was that out of all the people that joined ISIS, the majority in Europe come from France.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they have a huge like Muslim population. And one thing I want to touch on is Duke University had recently said that they're going to allow a weekly praying or something like
At
that.
the top of the building.
At the top of the building, yeah. But I just read right now. I was trying to like look up a source on it. They're saying that like, nah, they're going to cancel that after all because
they are
of the
gonna cancel?
uproar. Yeah,
Well,
A
yeah.
lot of
they
people are
gave in,
pissed.
bro.
You
A lot of
gotta
people.
realize though, this country, along with its allies, which one of
Yeah.
them is France, they have a war against the Muslims.
Yeah, but I saw this documentary a couple of years ago, and they were saying how like that's how they do it. They're going to come, they're going to attack you, they're going to bring their mosque, they're going to bring all their stuff and their Sharia law and all that. And the thing is, like you have the extreme guys like like Alex Jones, you have the extreme right, like Bill O'Reilly, and
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
all that. I like watching a little bit of everything, just because, you know, I'm trying to get into these guys' brains.
Yeah.
But the way they just rationalize everything is just it's kind of scary, because a lot of people they live their life on what these guys say. Kind of like to the hip hop thing. I want to get back to the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy listening to your guys' music because of the message. You know, it's not just shake your ass,
Yeah.
tits, tits. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
actually some sort of positive message in it. As far as like changing, has anybody ever approached you to be like, yo, Cepta, you know, like, I believe you got what it takes, but you kind of got to change this. You know, I kind of like, but you know, you kind of got to wear this. You kind of got to, you know, has anybody ever approached you like that?
I won't mention any names, but yeah, I've been approached. Let me see. Whoa, one time. So yeah, you probably gonna know who you are.
Motherfucker.
But this is funny because this is the first and probably I don't know if it's the last time, but this is the first time that's happened where. Because what I like to do when I spit, I like to, in between my songs, I like to talk, you know? I like to get the crowd into
Oh, yeah.
Immortal Technique does
You
that,
just
bro.
keep going, man, and that's
like,
awesome.
If there's, like, for example, if I did a show, like the show I'm going to have, you know, on 2 weeks from now.
Promote that. What is
Yes,
it?
indeed.
Let
It's
people know.
hey, man, shout out to the homies Dino Circle. They get down. And their album release show is Born to Chill. So it's going to be in Gardena in about 2 weeks, the 23rd. So I hope y'all go down there. Hit me up on Facebook.
feel
What time is that going at?
It starts at 7 or 8.
So you can be on like at 10, 11?
10, 11.
I feel like
just,
kicking a verse, man.
I just say you guys get there. Let's drink a little drink, smoke a little smoke, and enjoy each other's vibrations, man. Kick some freestyles. And
And for
do
those
what
that
we do.
are
Get
going
that
to
cipher.
participate in that cipher, I like to just spit a little something just to get you guys feeling like. And this is not going to go on a beat or nothing. This is just me a cappella in it.
Oh, shit.
And I feel like it's necessary. I wrote this. I didn't really practice it much, but I love to kick it just because when I go to these shows, man, I look at like people like my brothers, man, and sisters, and I feel like there's so much separation, man, and so much anger and negativity and so much showboating, like we're the shit. When in fact, you know, you're no different than I am. We're gonna live, we're gonna die, and that's it. You might get a little bit more money than me. You might have a couple more girls than me, but in reality, that's how you're gonna leave your mark, dude. As a dude who just played the game, and you know, I see this book right here online. It says Illuminati. There's like a testament that they wrote. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Yeah,
Cepta.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen
Millions
you,
of people.
I've seen you and Young Summit going at it.
Millions of people from all walks of life have committed themselves to bettering themselves from the human species and tenets of the Illuminati Testament. I want to read this book. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I
but
haven't
Are they
either,
getting
so.
666 tattoos also? No?
And I think they're getting all seeing eye
That's
pyramids
just
on them.
Jesus from Florida.
Well, let me kick this real quick. All right, here we goes. In my eyes, people in the ghettos are confused, whether they're gangbangers, taggers, or party crews. Crazy when I hear people say, "What up, fool?" Fools are what we are, but don't get all mad, dude. Can't you see the irony? They want us dumb as shit. And when I say they, I'm talking about the 1%. People with that money have control on all of us. The dollar bill turned its back on God we trust. They control the media, that's how they abuse. Whether you listen to the radio or flipping through the news, it's all to distract from the very large fact. When people come together, it's a motherfucking rap. Television used to teach us, open up your eyes. Now it's burgers and fries, you want it supersized? People live like their lives like it doesn't mean a thing, but I refuse to be a puppet living on a string.
Damn, that
There
was
you
dope.
go. Wow, that's power, man.
Thank you.
Hey, yo, check this out. Fucking atmosphere listening. That's power right there. Listen to what the homie said, man. So, you know, when you want to talk about, you know, what sells, it's cool, man. There's no substance behind it.
That's why they call it a sellout.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And when
You
you
know-
really study words, when you really take a good look with the magnifying glass, you'll see that they're using this shit against us. When we call each other
Dude,
fools, it's
yeah,
like,
I heard that.
it really sounds silly, but, you know, we live in a system where it's like, we don't have time, man. Let's just have fun. Let's just do
Well,
what we got to do.
That goes in line with what Cepta was saying about the respect. How he can go physically up and say some sort of negative thing to a woman, but it's the same thing. There's no respect, you know. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do, like Lou has referenced, the gangster rap, bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's just really horrible for. It's detrimental, I think.
It
I
still
don't know.
goes
it
on
is,
to
it
this
is.
day, and people want to be like Snoop. I hear their beats sound like DJ Quick, and, you know, I don't know. I have this feeling like it's not going to better anything, but maybe your wallet or a couple more bucks. But you're going to be in a show with dudes that do this, so I don't want to disrespect. But what I'm saying is, like, open your guys' eyes to the fact that we should be together, like, as a unit, like, all of us, like, community-wise, like, street-wise. We should all be enlightening each other, but we're still fighting each other.
Well, you got to look at this, man, because in hip hop especially, Like, it's an ego game. You know, it's like, I'm the
competition.
best. I'm the best. You know, like, I got to beat you to be the best. I got more likes than you. I'm better than you. I'm the best crew in Orange County. Look, here's the thing, dude. Everybody's been the best. And there's less than a handful of groups that are still together. So, in reality, how good are you?
Yep.
You know, so here's another thing. You know, you shouldn't proclaim yourself to be great if inevitably you can fall. That's why you shouldn't say these things. Just be humble, dog. Like, you know who you are. That should be enough. You know, you want the glitz and the glamour. All right, that's cool. You can have that. But you know what? That's not defining you.
Yeah.
That's not who you are. You're a human being. You breathe, you eat, you sleep, just like everybody else.
You're also a fucking fungus that eats up the planet.
There you go. That is us. But see, I think that's a new age problem, you know, and we're talking about like fucking from
Industrial.
the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
You know, which was, in my opinion, convenience, you know, mass production, producing shit that you don't even need, you know, and then you start depleting. And
Which brings me to graffiti. I know this is a little off, but I mean, because graffiti is a big part of hip hop, and I've always said, why don't we spread a message like "fuck President Bush" on the wall instead of ZKZ or whatever the fuck your crew is, you know?
You know what's crazy about that? If you go and were to type in that, you will find graffiti pieces where they say "fuck Bush" or 9/11
I
was
think you
an
meant
attack.
ZKZ or whatever
Oh
I
no,
said.
those are everywhere. But
So do you tag?
I don't.
Are you a good
used
tagger?
to. I could write on paper.
Or are you a
but
toy?
That doesn't count. I'm a toy. I'm a toy. I'm a toy when it comes to the Matrix, bro. Because I work a 9 to 5, and I know it's like counterproductive to me. And
Because I was a toy when I used to tag
I'm-
back in the days.
that way, I'm a toy, brother. Because I look at how I give so much of my time to these things that don't benefit me. People even. And I'm realizing, you know, girls, guys, like just people,
Yeah.
you know, that are not
But look, one
going
thing
to
that,
elevate.
but one
me.
thing that you're saying just correlates with this younger generation, you know, because I used to be that ignorant fool, you
Yeah,
know,
me too.
and
Yeah.
I used to be that kid, you know. The thing is, I'm in my early 30s right now, so obviously, you know, I'm married now. It's a lot different compared to, you know, these 18 to 25 demographic. And that's what I see with a lot of them is like I kind of see the old me, you know what I mean? And even I've been watching a lot of documentaries, even Immortal Technique was saying like, yeah, you know, I was young, I used to rob, do this, do stupid shit. You know, we all do that. We go through it. But some people
Immortal
kind
Technique went to jail.
yeah, he
That
went
dude
to
was locked up for like a year or
yeah,
something.
he went to prison, bro.
Broke
I
his
mean,
ass
he
up.
was on parole. Yeah,
This man, like around 97, no?
The saddest part, it takes jail to wake somebody up and actually sit them there and say, pay attention. You know, and some people actually
Some
don't.
people
They
don't.
come back out and they're
yeah.
worse.
But
Well,
the point I'm trying to make though is that like I do give these kids the benefit of the doubt because everything I know today I didn't know when I was 15, 16, 17, 18. It's like I'm learning new things every day, and I'm not trying to down like Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick. Look, dude, that's cool what you guys did. I still bump some of their music. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I'm a kind of a hypocrite, but I pay my own bills. I know what I'm doing. I'm mature enough to listen to that stuff. That's why they have the parental advisory things, you know. That's why my mom used to get pissed when I would order the 12 CDs for 1 penny from BMG.
Yeah, I remember
and she
those.
gets them in the mail, and she's seeing like Machiavelli, you know, Tupac on a cross. Like, what is this? You know, like this garbage out of here.
Man, that's classic,
And
bro.
Caesar was on the show and he brought up a good point. Like, why do you play video games? It's the same shit. It's entertainment. In my mind, though, when something's repetitive, constantly reminding you to do something, it becomes like a part of you. And people don't realize that subconsciously, when you repeat something over and over in someone's mind, it will stick and it
Yes.
won't leave. And Mike's is a 30-something-year-old man who actually can defend himself in his mind because people don't realize, I mean, I don't give a fuck who thinks what of me, but I talk to myself in my mind all the fucking time.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
do I.
I'm like,
When I
this.
need professional advice, that's what I
You know,
do. I
you,
mean,
you
come
know,
on.
you know, you know who I consider that?
Time to wash your underwear, dude. It's about that time, bro.
No, but on a real tip, on a serious tip, when,
Yeah.
when you are in a dilemma and you, I could be wrong. I think that's a soliloquy, but I could be wrong.
What's the soliloquy?
Look it up. I don't want to say it because I could be wrong.
No, just go say
All
whatever
right,
you
it's
feel
when
in
you
your
speak.
heart,
In,
man.
it's when you speak in silent, you know, like you soliloquize. But I don't know. There's a word.
Like
I
I'm
learned.
talking to myself right now, but you can't hear me.
No, like, you know when you're doing something at work, you're like, God, I gotta go fucking take this out right now.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
little things you tell yourself.
You know, my wife thinks I'm crazy because she's like, "Yo, Michael, why are you always talking to
I talk
yourself?"
to myself too, brother.
Honestly, we call my wife and ask her. She'd be like, "Mike, you're crazy. You talk to yourself." But I kind of do it because I plan out my day. Like I kind of hype it. Like I'm my own hype man. Like, all right, man, we're gonna get ready. We're gonna go do this. We gotta watch this. We gotta work. We gotta, you know. And then I kind of plan out my day and hype it up because if not, I'm just kind of like, fuck, I gotta do this. Oh, then I gotta do that. You know. So it's like you could do. It's up to you. Like when my wife gets mad, I tell them like it's your choice to be mad.
Yeah.
I'm not making you mad by any means. I am not making you
wanna
mad. You are choosing.
You want to speak of
to be
autonomy.
upset.
You want to speak of autonomy.
Yes.
You want to speak of freedom.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly right. And she gets more pissed because I make her think, and she's just like, "You're an asshole." You know?
No, it's like, hey, I made you realize that you're in a matrix, and you can snap out of it anytime you want.
Exactly.
So when I say graffiti, you know, when I mention this stuff, and I know there's dudes out there that follow you that are graffiti dudes, and you know, it's like they think I'm attacking them, and I'd like them to know I'm actually trying to help them, like not like this fucking counselor. You need to do this with your life. But what I'm trying to say is like, yo, like I've been through this shit, bro, and like I don't want you to be caught in the system. And you've always said that it's the system. You know, you're trying to warn motherfuckers what the system is, and then once you get placed in the system. Once they can identify you with your fingerprints, once they can put you in the system, bro, good luck finding a fucking job, dude. Good luck trying to be something. Good luck trying to vote and try to change things. And at that point, once you're logged in that system, you feel like you can't do a fucking thing, man. You feel like fuck the world, like Tupac said.
I'm hopeless.
Yeah. And I feel like telling them, like, nah, dude, like, look, dude. We can work together, man, and we can change this bitch. Like, we got to stick together, though, and we can't be afraid of death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you're not afraid of death, that's when shit becomes like unstoppable. Like you can go the distance. Right now on this podcast, we're talking about Illuminati, the government. We're talking about fucking what's going on in the Middle East, Bibles and shit. People might get fucking so mad they want to come and kill us. You know, we got the balls, which people don't realize. I shouldn't say balls because I don't like saying that. Because anyone that gets kicked in the balls is falling on the floor. We got the pussies. We got the vaginas. You see how I flip words because I really study them, but I'm just fucking babbling. When we get into like helping each other and we start actually caring for each other, that's what gangs really are. The little dudes that don't have nowhere to go, their parents are drug addicts, they go to the gangs, and the gangs like, yeah, we'll protect you, man, we'll take care of you in the hood, you know. And instead of that, like, we should have an education, we should all be smart militants, and we should be able to back each other up and educate each other how to eat right, how to be disciplined like soldiers, and actually make a change, man. I'm not talking about like bloodshed, I'm talking about like protesting peacefully and putting our hearts on the line like Martin Luther King did, you know.
But isn't it engineered this way?
I was about to say that.
By who?
I was about to say that.
By the elite?
By the elite, by the slave masters that never left, you know, when we thought that we were liberated, and really it wasn't. It was a transfer of power.
Yeah.
It was written differently. It's like, okay, you got freedom, but this, and that.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's these laws that are set, you know, for what reason? Okay, here's the thing. If you run a red light, why do I need to pay $1,000? Why not?
I don't know if it's 1,000.
Yeah,
it?
you recently did
And
that.
you get points on your record. I know that.
You know, and it's like, dude, why are you going to charge me $1,000? Is it so I don't repeat the offense because I paid $1,000?
It's to devastate you economically, man.
Where does that money go? To a bloated...
Dude.
Look, dude, real quick. I support police. I do. I support police. I support honest police. I don't support corrupt motherfuckers that walk around and they're like, yo, we're the real gang. Those are the people I don't support.
They're out there too. That's why
yeah, I've encountered them.
Yeah, I could understand you.
So
let's talk about a little bit about your history with police before we get into your point about police.
Real quick, let me conclude this point before I forget about it. Let me see if I didn't forget.
Fuck, I threw you off. See, sorry. You were
Continue, Lou.
My bad.
Okay, we're talking about...
Because me and you had big arguments.
We're talking about bloated budgets because how much money goes to police? They have assault rifles. They have helicopters. It costs, what, $5,000, I think, for half an hour. You could fact check me on that.
Damn.
You know, so look at all this money that is going into what? Okay, so we're talking about crime rates, you know? We're talking about all this shit. It's crazy because they add to the shit, you know? So let's look at education. Public education is bleak, bro. The books, I was reading this article not too long ago that, you know, the prison libraries are more quality, have more books than public schools.
Well,
What is that
but I mean,
telling
people
you?
are there for life, man. I mean, they got a lot of time with their
No,
hands.
not only that, Doc. Not only that, corporations need to get their cheap labor, bro. Pay $1 for whatever they do
Dude,
in
cents.
prison. So
I think it was 12 cents the last
there
time I
you go.
looked.
That's a legalized form of slavery. That shit's illegal.
One thing I wanted to bring up though on the whole money stuff, because on the last podcast we had brought up briefly about Haiti. I read an article just yesterday talking about the billions of dollars has still not reached after 5 years,
That's
bro.
why
It's
Red Cross is corrupt, bro.
I'm just saying, man, I've been talking about this since it started. I've been asking questions like, well, whose bank account is it in? Who accumulates the interest? Who gets to keep that? Are they investing it? Meanwhile, it's just sitting there. And these are types of questions that, the average Joe doesn't ask.
You know how many people donated to Haiti?
Dude,
$10
how many people?
via text. man. I remember
Wyclef Jean, he ran for president of Haiti. He
that was a
rep-
publicity stunt, though, yo.
And this is where it's going to, like for instance, if Immortal Technique was running for governor or president, look, that's much different because I know his message has always been consistent. Yet, if you have somebody like Wyclef Jean coming, you know what I'm saying? What?
I got one word for that. My people will know this. Aristide. I forgot his name. First name. Last name was Aristide. Exiled in I want to say maybe 2004. I could be wrong. Please fact check me if I'm wrong. Please call in and tell me something
You're
right.
losing me. What are we talking
So
about?
we're talking about Aristide in Haiti.
What is
So then
Aristide?
Aristide he was going to win. I think he did win presidency, and he was actually getting the U.S. and everybody that was basically using Haiti, for economic gain. Whether if it's cheap labor or whatever. He was actually wanting to prosper Haiti as a country. And he went to the French and demanded money for them being enslaved, and they exiled him. So it's not really what if this person comes in and does, no, it's designed. See, I was about to go into that with the system because we're talking about the system in graffiti.
Yeah.
To vote and all this shit. All of it is an illusion, bro. Because there's this thing called the Electoral College, where they more or less choose the president. So, okay, we already know that's false, right? Okay, we already know that corporations can buy speech.
Yep.
Even though they're corporations. It's funny, because a corporation can buy speech and have freedom of speech, but a corporation can't be prosecuted.
Well,
a corporation cannot be put to death.
Let's take a call. Who's on the phone right now? Hello?
Hello?
Is that Young Summit again?
Someone's prank calling us. Sorry, man. I'm just breaking the momentum here. Someone fucking calls and they don't start talking.
It's all good. Maybe it was a mistake.
Back to the police thing. I think. What do you think about Eric Gardner?
Eric Garner. I mean, I heard the chokehold was an illegal one.
Did you see it?
One? I have not.
So you don't know much about that. What do you think about Michael Brown?
Michael Brown. That one's an interesting one because they're saying that he was committing a robbery prior to him getting shot.
Stealing blunts.
He's on film doing it though. It's not like it's a fucking myth. It's there on video. He did it and he pushed the fucking cashier. Mike said it wasn't at first, but we started.
No, it is.
We started to verify. One of the second shows we did, you said that.
Well, here's the thing. If the guy had a weapon, then. But look, I can see it from both sides, because if you're a cop going in there, you don't know what's going on. You need to draw your weapon.
Cepta.
So I see it from
You
both
changed.
perspectives. So look, brother, okay, but at the same time, I can see how mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I can see how mistakes happen because I put myself in that position. I'm not gonna leave you.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm not gonna let you shoot me in the
Freeze.
dome. I'm not gonna let you shoot me in the dome.
Hello?
But look, when we look at what happened to Manuel Diaz in Anaheim, he was shot execution style. So what does that say?
But he was running from the police.
Okay, but still, you don't need to shoot him in the back
But
of
he
the
was,
head.
but he was too.
got
And don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to say from
He
what
got
I've
shot-
read, he got shot in the buttocks.
He got shot in the ass, he
And then-
fell down, and he got shot in the head.
But have you ever gone shooting guns?
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay, when you shoot a gun, it's powerful, bro. What if the cop was just unloading, just doo, 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 you know what I mean? And it hit him, he dropped, and
But
the
remember,
bullets.
these are certified people. They have the immense
But what is
training.
certified? What is certified?
I think certification is immense training. Immense training, years of training, years of whatever it
it's
is.
not years,
But that's
though.
not the reality.
Well, whatever
It's
it
probably
would
more
be.
like months.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
whatever the requirements are, it's like when you go to war or you go overseas. You just don't go. You
What
go
about
to
if
boot
people?
camp and
What
you get
about the people
prepared.
that argue that say oh, well, he was a documented gang member in and out of jail?
It doesn't
prison.
matter. There's documented
Like Eric Gardner had been arrested, like I believe, like over 30 times prior to selling loose cigarettes. You know, so it's just it's crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. You know, but again, the corporation, they're the police. Who are the police here protecting?
Honestly, okay. Here's a little something that went down. My homie got bit by a dog on Christmas. And from preventing my homies from fucking him up,
the dog,
fucking
the
up
owner?
the guy.
Oh, okay.
I called the cops. Did they come? No. So
they're like this. Anybody hurt? Nope. Please hold.
This is Anaheim PD.
Well, did you give them the address? Because sometimes if you're just like click, they're not.
How am I gonna call the cops and not give the address?
Well, sometimes you're frantic. Sometimes you
you
think they know your address automatically.
It's funny because they asked me where you at.
Yeah.
You know, so here's the thing, dude.
But you realize there's other calls they have to go to too. Like there might be something more of a circumstance that they have to show up to.
Okay, if that's the case, then if I fuck that guy up, I shouldn't be prosecuted.
Well, an eye for an eye, poetic justice.
What the fuck? You know, I mean, that's why I'm calling you. You know, for you to subdue this guy.
How many police officers do they have on patrol? You
gotta look at the budgets, though, bro. The numbers don't lie, dog.
Right. What are the budgets?
Look it up, Mike, please.
Oh, I will. I'll
look up the budgets, please. I don't want to give you some number that's inaccurate. Look up the budget.
Well, I mean, if they have 1.5 million for cameras, I mean,
hey, there's one aspect of the budget. There's 1.5 million for cameras. That's one aspect of the budget.
Yeah.
What about the helicopters? What about the assault rifles? What about everything else they get?
Exactly.
Now, let's look at this. How many cops have been prosecuted for all this shit that's went down?
Hey, wait. Have you heard about the guy in Albuquerque?
One.
Hey, but it's a start.
Wait, what is Albuquerque? Can you break it down for the listeners?
There was a homeless guy who was living out like in the wilderness.
Spare change.
And he's living out in the wilderness. He's camping out actually, right? Camping out. And they, the cops come up, and I mean, there's like 3 of them. They got the assault rifle, shotgun.
What y'all doing?
He gets up, he's got his hands up clearly.
I heard about that. In the mountains.
But then he kind of like, they say he was reaching for a knife. I don't know if that's correct or not. You guys could fact check me. But they say that he was reaching like this, and just from this to that was boom, 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 and they just killed the guy. And this was last year. And those guys are getting prosecuted for murder.
Remember the guy that and I'm going back to Anaheim. That's my city. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Remember the guy that got bit by the dog, Bruno?
Oh yeah.
What happened to those cops?
Nothing.
What happened to the cops that fucked up Kelly Thomas?
Nothing. Actually, they coach
wait. Nothing
baseball.
They're still on the force, bro.
Really? That dude with the eyeball? With the fake eye?
I don't know if he's got a fake eye, but the guy that did that, yeah. They're still... Look, my point being, we have active criminals on the force. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Just by that. So, they're willing to let a whole mountain...
There have been gangs documented in cops.
Yeah, definitely. I think there was a tattoo. There was a tattoo that some police had in the LAPD, yeah.
Yeah, well, we got a call from Chris from Stay Bold Radio. What it do, man?
Well, since you have a show finally, not in the afternoon, and when I'm actually out of school, I decided to call in.
What up, bro? How you been, man? Everything good?
Yeah, we just interviewed Ray Lewis, who was the hockey player that used to be a police captain in Philly, and he just told everything. He exposed the whole system of police in America. He talked about 9/11. We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, I heard that. It was a great show, man.
Real quick, brother, what show was that? So we can get people like myself that haven't heard it to listen to it.
Well, it was on Stay Bold Radio at blogtalkradio.com.
Blogtalkradio.com? Word.
This guy's, he's 16 years old?
Yes.
Amazing.
And he does a show like myself once a week. And, I mean, everyone I see, nobody has what he's doing and what I'm doing. We continue to push once a week. We're about it. Other people talk about it. They don't do shit.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Wow.
So, mad props to Chris.
Do you have anything else to elaborate on? Please, if you can elaborate more on that.
About the police would be cool, man.
Well, yeah.
Because you post a bunch of shit. You post a bunch of stuff regarding police and police brutality, but don't you think we need them as people to respond to crisis situations?
Well, here's the thing: is that's not what their main purpose is anymore. It used to be to protect and serve. Used to be the official model, the official purpose of the police. But as Ray Lewis pointed out, since 2005. When the Supreme Court ruled in the favor of the assertion that they are solely for law enforcement, our police force became like the Gestapo in Germany.
Oh, wow.
That was all. That's all they were for. They were then forced the laws, no matter how draconian, how authoritarian, and the laws like we have today are, so many people are in jail for victimless crimes. They feed this private prison complex and it's literally legalized slavery.
Yeah,
Is the
exactly.
private prison complex.
It
They
is.
work for $1 an hour in these private prisons.
We alluded to that earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Wow. Yeah.
And you and
You guys hear
Cepta,
me?
yeah,
Yeah.
you and Cepta are very big supporters of Palestine and what Israel's doing. Can you elaborate a little bit more? Because I'm reading one of your posts and it says right here, U.S. aid to Israel $3 billion annually, where U.S. and aid to Detroit is $0.
That is crazy.
Is that what you put down, Chris?
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And I put that picture actually quite a bit because people need to know that $3 billion of their tax
money.
dollars
Yep.
is going to this foreign country that's supposed to be thriving, Israel,
Yep.
and these $3 billion are being used to oppress a country
Yep.
that had their whole country stolen from them. When I see
1948.
Israel, I don't see
Yep.
Israel. It's Palestine.
Yeah.
That's what it was on the globe. When your grandparents, your great grandparents went to school, when they looked at the globe, it would not say
Palestine.
Israel, but it said Palestine right there.
Yep. You know what's
That's all
funny
I
about
love.
that is that whole thing with the whole Paris shootings is that France actually like reached out to Israel and was like, "Yo, please, Netanyahu, don't come over here."
It's funny
And
because
he actually still ended up going.
those are the original critics. They're all of them. They're a part of the same machine that has oppressed many different countries. Let's go to America and the Indians. It's the same
Another
story.
thing I want to touch on is like, why is everybody marching? 3 million people marching, 17 people killed, but how many people have been murdered and slaughtered in Iraq and Afghanistan?
How about this? How many
Africa?
people? How many people have died due to drones that we fund through taxes? Like the homie just said right now that all this money is
Yeah.
going to Israel. How much money is going to fund these drones that are dropping bombs in Yemen and indiscriminately
And they
all
can
over?
never even verify if it is the correct target
No,
or
they
not.
can't. They can't.
Like 90% of the time.
And here's another thing. That right there messes with our national security. Because what country isn't going to want to nuke us for doing that?
But we're a war country. We need
Oh,
war
yeah,
to
we're an
profit.
empire, brother. That's it's definition of an empire. It's something that conquers with war and takes.
Hey.
And takes and takes.
I want to ask a question. Chris
Right.
is still on the line?
Yeah, he's still there.
Hey, Chris, how do you feel on this whole war on drugs?
It's a complete racket. That's what the war on drugs is. It's a complete racket in order to pretty much it's to have a few people out control the whole drug market, aka these drug cartels in Mexico.
Yep.
People that kill people left and right in Mexico, and they're being funded via Operation Fast and Furious. They were given arms. They've been funded in the past. They were
Yes.
funded in the 80s. They fight the Sandinistas, and at the same time when they're fighting when they funded the Contra rebels who reign of terror in Central America.
And this is the CIA, right?
Yeah, in the CIA.
Our government.
You know what?
Everything.
And you know who else? You know what else they did in the 80s is that right after in the 70s when we had this period of people in these oppressed neighborhoods, finally we had black people in the United States rose up. The Black Panther movement became big. They finally had armed themselves with knowledge of the system that had been disenfranchising them for all this time.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, the CIA started shitting bricks because they knew that revolution
Yeah.
was possible.
Look at
So they had
Mumia
armed to support
Abu-Jamal.
blacks, but also whites.
Damn, Chris.
And so-
Hey, talk a little bit about you and your teachers going at it because you're talking about blinding us from the very beginning, and that's exactly what they're doing to you in high school, correct?
Well, yeah. My teachers are always debating me. Especially, there was one case where my former social studies teacher, my U.S. history teacher, was trying to say that it's like until all Muslims condemn the acts of extremism, they're all responsible. That's what he literally said.
Wow.
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 Yeah, I've had people say that.
That's crazy.
Palestine was
wow.
never a state like, and Israel, is only doing what's right. And I'm like, are you?
What's right?
And I've seen Cepta in front of his
What's
job.
right?
I've had people that I know from work confront Cepta, and he just completely shuts them down with, "No, dude, Palestine is a state, and it's fucking being taken over."
Go beyond 1948. You'll see Palestine was a fucking country.
So
They're actually getting recognized now by countries, correct? And Israel's all super
look-
pissed about it.
And look, Palestine. Yeah, people think that Palestine is this new country, this new idea. No, it was a country that was always there, and then all of a sudden in 1946, around that was when the King David Hotel bombing happened. And remember how that happened? These pro-Zionists bombed this hotel dressed as Arabs to gain support for their cause. And then 1948, they became a state. And then ever since then, they've been inflicting just a wave of terror against these Palestinians that have the unfortunate circumstance of having to be born in Palestine, and now they're walled in an open air prison where they can't get food, water, anything. They have to smuggle stuff from Egypt, via the tunnels. And then you have nowadays this Zionist puppet Sisi that is trying to block off all the tunnels and trying to just pretty much put them in a quagmire. This is ridiculous, honestly. There's only been a few presidents or a few world leaders that have been able to criticize this heavily. One that comes to mind is one that the United States always hated was Hugo Chavez.
Yes.
Who he criticized Israel heavily, and he was very big supporter of the Palestinians, a friend of the Palestinians, and that was one of the main reasons why they were against them. You know who gives more money? The strongest lobby in the United States is not the NRA, it's the AIPAC, American Israeli Public Affairs Committee.
This guy's loaded, man. I'm telling you, Cepta, give him some credit.
Yes, yeah, no, man, he's
16 years old,
Wow,
man.
brother.
Could you imagine if most Americans, youngsters, teenagers, were informing themselves like this kid? Chris, what made you want to start informing yourself? Because it appears to me on Facebook you seem to be like, I don't want to say the word loner, but you're an independent dude. Like, you don't really want to fit in with the mesh because it's so silly nowadays, is it not?
Well, yeah, look, when I was around 11 or 12, that's when I started. Jesse Ventura gave me my start. I saw his
Same here.
His shows about 9/11. That was the main one, and then from there on, I wanted to see why this stuff went on, and then I started to see the people really behind behind the United States, and I started to realize that the United States government, the president's not the highest person in the United States government. It's really they're being strung like puppets via these people called the Rothschild family, Rockefeller family, one of the richest people on the planet that have so much money, that even if they were to give 1% of their money to the poor, nobody would starve. But they're so greedy and afflicted with this greed that they just want more and more. And that's why these Rothschilds, with their banking dynasty, they have taken almost every country's central banks over. And now they want everyone for their world dynasty.
This dude is
they're Jewish as well, right?
Yeah, they're Jews. Did research. Yeah, they're
I don't mean it like it in an anti-Semitic way or anything.
No,
I'm
no.
just
Well,
saying, making a
can I
fact.
correct you on that? No,
Yeah.
that's not anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but the thing is, so many people, you say Jews, and, oh my gosh, it's almost like the
the
N-word
biggest
these days.
misconception, because I work with Semitic people. What is Semitic are people of the Middle East. It's not a Jew. So a Lebanese person is Semitic. Iranian person is Semitic. So if you're saying fuck Iran, that's anti-Semitic. If you're saying fuck Lebanon, that's anti-Semitic. You're saying fuck Palestine, that's anti-Semitic.
That's crazy.
It's not just, you're saying fuck the Jews, that's anti-Semitic. No, everything is everything, bro. In that region is what makes them Semitic.
What do you think about that, Chris? Do you agree with that guy?
Yeah, here's the thing is that a lot of the Israelis that are there are counter to what people think. They're not Semitic people. They're from Europe. They're Ashkenazis. They're a whole different race that came there. That it's a European invasion practically of Palestine.
Yeah.
These are people are not Semitic. Semitic people are the Palestinians that are right now being bombed, being killed every single day. I mean, Palestine. There's not a day almost where an atrocity occurs in Palestine. During the images that I saw during this Gaza bombing in the summer were so horrific.
Very.
People. There were kids being stuffed in ice cream freezers because they didn't even have enough spaces in the morgues anymore.
Could you imagine waking up, dude, and hearing this shit?
And real quick, brother.
But they sent text 10 minutes or a couple minutes before bombing, right?
If we go,
yeah, they sent 10 minutes before the bombing. They sent a warning out.
If we were to go and look at the reason why it all started, it was over a completely baseless allegation, which was, you killed the kid. And there was no evidence to suggest that Palestine had anything to do with it. So you had Israeli armies launching intensely highly sophisticated weapons and shells against the Palestinians, and you had the Palestinians using homemade rockets, using homemade tunnel systems. And it's just preposterous that we fund this.
Yeah, and we're responsible for helping them.
It's the U.S. It's Britain. It's France's interests. It's all these interests. And you're right, brother. They are European people. So that's awesome. I did not know that. They're not Semitic. Wow.
Chris, you are the man, dude. Thanks for calling in. We're going to go to a quick break after this, so you can call in the second part.
Godspeed, man. You're doing your thing, brother, and I'm very, 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 very gracious that you exist, man.
Any last words on that? All right, Chris, I'll talk to you later. So we're going to go to a break right now, but you guys want to touch on anything really fast before we do?
This beer.
All right,
Let's get touch on a blunt, but
we'll be right back.
But you know how I know I'm gonna come up? Because I'm humble and I'm good at what I do. Yo, Fifth Element or beginners, music my intervention, eating me off the bullshit, matrix that is mentioned. They racial profiles, yet living is a blessing. I see my mother, my father, my family stressing. The 1% suppressors trying to infect us. What goes around comes around at the end of the session.
Yo, in 100 years from now, everyone who's living on this planet will be dead. So it's inconsequential, really, all the shit that you talk, all the bullshit that you stand for. It's more important what you're ready to build, what you're ready to pass down to your children, what you're ready to create.
You better fucking remember that. I like when he says that shit.
Challenge a motherfucker like
Me.
Remember,
I'm the dominant species. So what up, everybody? We back at the Open Your Minds podcast. And I am DJ Lou. We got who in the house?
Oh, Cepta.
And we got who?
What up? It's Mike G.
Fuck.
What's going on, everybody?
Dude, I mean, we've been doing this shit for a while, but we never been able to go live. We never been able to do it where the quality's great, where we can just relax, sip a brew, and just have a good time. And now it's finally happening.
Smoke a little smoke.
I'm just stuck, man. I'm like, fuck, I don't know where to go, man, because there's so much to say, and we have so much time that it's endless, dude. So I just want to thank you, Cepta, for being here.
Thank you for having me, man. I mean,
we do this shit once a week, bro. So if you could get a little piece of the pie, what we do here, man, and it's beautiful, bro. Just to have your piece of the pie in, and it's amazing, dude.
I'm looking forward on coming back, man.
Thanks,
no
dude.
doubt.
And you're right, fucking down the street too. I don't see why you can't make it here.
Hey, yo, I literally like fucking got out of work at fucking 3:15, went home, put some shorts on, smoked a quick ball, and got my ass over here as soon as I could. So, I mean, hey, dog, it was worth it, man.
So I wanted to talk about words that we use. I've always been wanting to touch up on this. You know, you hear words like dick. You're a fucking dick.
Yeah,
and there's actually
I've used that word.
That's actually his name.
And there's actually
Tracy,
dudes,
homie.
There's actually dudes with the name Dick, and it's like,
It's gonna be the worst name.
Why do we think of a penis from when we hear the word?
You know
dick?
what's funny about the name Dick? It's actually Richard.
Really?
Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dick Nixon.
Oh wow.
I'm being serious.
Make a shirt. Dick
You used
Nixon.
to call him Swinging Dick.
And you know, there's also words like blast. I'm gonna put that fool on blast, but
Yeah.
blast is short for blasphemy.
That's
Did
true.
you ever think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to your ass and assessment and how you, but look at what the word means to assess the situation, to look at it and just ponder it. Like, let me assess what's going on.
Yeah. And, you know, girls that dye their hair, like they don't realize they want to fucking change their color of their hair every week, and they're literally killing the roots in their head so that they'll be bald later on down the road.
Yeah, I could see how there's like a
women trip me the fuck.
how there's
out.
like a double meaning towards like dye and then how you killing your roots and shit. But you know what's crazy? Let's look at the word like peace. Like we look at peace, peace means tranquility, right? But then you go down to like, mainstream peace, it's like peace is something you got to fight for, Peace is something that you need to go to war for. Peace is why we need to occupy other countries so that there's no breakout of war and it's going to, threaten peace, all around the globe. We go to peace, even declaration of war. Let's go to terror. The very fact of terror isn't terror. Terror in mainstream media is Muslim, turban, big beard, 9/11. That is terror.
We blow up planes.
Here's a interesting and funny observation I see is that, okay, if there's gunmen that are being searched for that killed, let's say, like a thing in New York, there's like 2 gunmen that shot down some cops. And there's a huge manhunt.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's terrorism.
That was in the Bronx.
That by definition, my friends, is terror.
Yeah.
Because you're going and you're terrorizing.
Yeah.
You're going after, you're
The
killing.
act of terrorizing.
The act
yeah.
of terrorizing.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they don't call them terrorists. They call them suspect, crazy gangster. But had it been a Muslim person, we're looking for a terrorist.
All hell break loose.
Here's a funny tidbit
They're
of
just a
information.
new scapegoat.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There's always a come on, everybody's been a scapegoat at one point in time. You know, you had the Asians, you know,
Who build our railroads? Yeah.
I know that they had them in concentration camps,
Yeah.
man, in America, dude. Like this, people don't understand this. You know,
Why were
it's
they
like-
in concentration camps?
Because of the Japanese when they bombed Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, they thought that they might be, you know,
Associated.
exactly, and carry out some sort of
So let's
terror.
put them in pig pens and take away the rights.
Oh, yeah.
Our constitutional right is you can't do that, and they still do. So it goes to show you we don't have rights. We have special temporary privileges.
Oh, you have rights,
No,
and
yeah.
you have money. you know?
I think you have rights because let's go. And I know we're just going off different topics here. I'm sorry, you know.
That's the beauty of it,
But
man. That's the
check
beauty
this
of it.
out. Let's go to the act of rights. You know, like we got worker rights. Like before, you couldn't work an 8-hour day. You know, like you would do 16 or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm being serious. Like like at time there was no checks and balances. You know, you got hurt on the job, you're fucked. But you got to look at how many people died for that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like, okay, well, we want to help you guys out, so here's the rights. No, it's people that got together, formed a union. I know unions are demonized, and a lot of unions are fucked up. But the overall reason why a union
the whole idea of
it was
I
pure.
hear. Yeah.
But it took a union of people that wanted rights, and a lot of them died. It's the same thing with civil rights. How many black people got fucking killed to have the right to exist?
Murdered by our government.
Oh yeah, dude. Jim Crow laws were horrible.
You know, it's crazy that you bring that up because when I was watching the documentary on the slavery in America, the slaves, as they were there, they would barter with the plantation owner. They would be like, over the years, so they would kind of barter here and there. Like, okay, well, after this many years, I'm considered free. But then the thing is, like, okay, your kids are still slaves, or this or that, or they would. It was a trip, man, because like, just the whole history of this nation is mind-boggling to me because we're only a little bit over 200 years old.
At 300, around there, around that mark.
Was it 1776?
1776, Declaration of Independence.
So it just kind of goes to show you, it's just, man, this whole concept of how we started was with tobacco and cotton.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really look at those industries and break them down, it's pretty eye-opening to really show you the true interest of the new land, of the new world. And not only that, you got to understand, you touched earlier on the conquistadores, the Europeans that came out here.
Yeah.
They were actually paid by the kings and the queens in Europe, like in Spain, and they would fund these expeditions so that they could come and extract gold and take back the gold.
That's what they took from Mexico.
That's all it was.
Treasure.
That's the whole thing that motivated this was gold and silver.
They took our religion, they took our treasure, and they raped our women. But real quick side note, the craziest thing about the raping of our Indian women and white Anglo people was that it created Latinos, which is what? A mestizo, which is you have brown Indian mixing with Anglo blood. So it created Latinos. So though it was a fucked up thing that happened, in a way it spurred a new fucking race of people.
Yeah.
Which were, you got fucking Haitians, which were, they commingled with the slaves in that region of indigenous people. And then you got white-looking Mexicans. I mean, I'm just saying, dude, we speak Spanish in Mexico. None of us should be speaking Spanish. We should be speaking dialect.
Yeah.
None of us should be, and with all due respect, because I respect people's beliefs, man. I want you to respect mine, so I'm going to respect yours. So, with all due respect, we shouldn't even believe in Catholicism. We shouldn't believe in Christianity in this region of the world because we had our own beliefs. We believed in the stars. We believed in nature. We had our own system, our own language, our own math.
But there's other people that are going to argue, be like, it was for the betterment of civilization.
For who?
And
for who?
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, some people will argue that and be like, and that's the thing is that, like, there's so many possibilities, so many different points of views that, like, I try to look at it.
Can you break down some of those beliefs? Can you break a little bit of them down?
Yeah, I mean, let's go to in Tikal, which is it's the one of the
is
main.
Is that in Guatemala?
No, is it in Guatemala? It's Yucatan, Guatemala.
Yucatan, yeah,
there.
Okay.
So basically, the way the pyramid is constructed, it aligns with a constellation.
Yeah, it does.
Because Mayan people were so infatuated with the stars, man, and the heavens. They're the ones that I believe. Fact check me if I'm wrong, please. They came up with the term the heavens, the celestial bodies. So our existence was more garnered towards Earth, towards Mother Nature. Okay, yeah, we believed in reptilians. Okay.
Kind of like Native American.
Yes.
No way.
So you look at like mainstream religion now, like Christianity. I was talking to this guy today on Facebook, and you know who you are, hopefully. We're talking about the Quran, and he was saying about he was talking about how pagan, which is like Christianity and Catholicism, how they paint their deities, you know, they make artifacts of their religion. And it's like, as opposed to like the Middle Eastern people, or, you know, the Semitics, or the people that believe in the Quran, their temples their patterns are different. It doesn't depict anything religious. You know, and then I was reading the Quran too, and I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm only 10 pages deep. So if I'm wrong, please come through, rip me a new asshole, because if you do, I learn.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no heaven or hell. You're always recycled. You go and you do God's bidding. You know, you fucking live, you do God's bidding, and you fulfill it. Cool. If not, then you're miserable. You know, but as far
you
as
get another chance as a dog.
as far as what I read, you go to God, and the whole thing is to do His bidding. But see, now we look at that, and we look at what has religion done over the years, because I promise you this: religions have divided and displaced and killed more people than it has united. Please prove me wrong on that. Anyone.
Nick, where you at?
Please.
Just kidding.
Well, that's the whole agenda, because
I might get a Facebook reply from him. I hope I do.
Can you elaborate a little bit more why you would say that religion has separated?
Well, look at the Knights Templar. You know, we'll look at the Sunnis and the Shiites. You know, it's just a different way of worshiping a religion. Oh, you're not going to do it? Fuck you.
Right.
They declare war. They kill. There's a slaughter. They murdered the Knights Templar. There was a slaughter of the Knights Templar because they didn't believe in the same way. What was it, the Romans? I'm not sure. You can fact check me on that. But they didn't believe the way that was being like, okay, this is right. It's just like with the Sunnis and the Shiites, dude. It's like Catholics and Christians. You know, Christians don't believe in the Virgin Mary. They don't believe in the saints. The Catholics believe in the saints. So let's just say you have the Catholics warring with or beefing with fucking Christians because of how they worship their deities.
Okay, let me throw something at you, because we had a conflict about Ron Paul one time, and we were going at it. You were saying that he might be just another puppet. And that isn't that where, you know, we're trying to get together and start a movement, and Ron Paul seems to be like the only one that's actually trying to get people to wake up and open their eyes and be honest, and he's been honest. He's got a track record of doing that. Now that alone is a pile of people, and you're saying Ron Paul's wrong, so what you're doing is like trying to break that up.
I'm not saying Ron Paul's wrong. I'm saying to preserve a system that obviously is broken is wrong. Mm-hmm. So if you want to make change in a broken system, how?
Yeah.
How is it possible for you to take elements of a broken system and work within it to change it without you changing the whole system? That's like me working a broken mic and trying to get the best quality out of a broken mic. How is that going to work without me either replacing the mic or fixing it completely? How?
Well,
quick.
He wanted to do the federal.
Okay, and
reserve.
the Fed. Okay,
that's big, dude.
I heard him say though he wanted to phase out troops. You know how much? Because he's for the Republican Party.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
right then alone, that just like triggered you.
No, what triggered me is I didn't hear anyone say like, okay, you know what, we need to reboot this. We need to change every aspect of this government, because from what it was to what it is now is broken.
Yeah.
Look, dude, I'm below the poverty line. I make less than $19,000 a fucking year.
Yeah.
And I do not qualify for fucking Medicare because I make too much fucking money.
Isn't that crazy?
So how the fuck can we talk about all this other shit when this exists?
Okay.
If you want to work within a system, or if you want to work with the laws or the people that put this kind of legislation out, you want to talk with them. No.
What do you mean no? What do you mean no?
I mean no. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I think you need to reroute the shit. You need to eradicate it. You need to start fresh.
But they're in control.
Well,
that's like saying, America, why don't we stop feeding Israel this money and helping them destroy Palestine?
America, why don't we stop feeding Israel? Why?
Because we don't have what it takes to go up to Congress and say, fuck you guys, we're taking over.
We do.
Ron Paul at least is trying to, like, when he said, we need to talk. We need to talk. And you're saying, no, we're not even going to talk to the guys that are in charge of going to war.
We don't need people like Ron Paul. What we need is to be out there ourselves. What we need is to organize
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
A group of people.
Yes.
My opinion, you want change, you boycott something.
Yes.
You fucking Walmart, boycott that bitch.
Yes.
See if they don't cave in.
Yeah.
Walmart,
But see-
most of their money is actually people with like EBT.
There you go.
SNAP,
And see, and
so that's taxpayers are making these people rich.
Do you
look-
take EBT?
Dude, it's like that the whole way.
Yeah.
You know, everything that exists in government is taxpayer money.
So
Everything.
after we boycott everything, what happens then?
They cave, I think.
They cave.
Yeah.
And then
Look, dude, you got to look at it. Their main thing is to make money.
let's
Yeah,
look at Cesar
that's
Chavez.
true.
Let's look at Cesar Chavez real
Cesar
quick because
Chavez.
he did boycott, and they
Yes.
ended up moving their shit to another country. They said, "Fuck you guys, you don't want to buy our shit. We're just gonna go to Europe." And then Cesar Chavez followed them to Europe, where he was able to talk to someone, and they were able to boycott over there, and they stopped those fuckers for good. They ended up compromising and working on a contract.
Look, what it was is they lost 18 million or something in grapes. The whole thing was to not buy grapes.
Yeah,
Don't buy grapes.
right.
Because of the unjustness, what was going on. They were fucking breaking in. You're fucking immigrants. You don't got rights.
Yeah, but Cepta, at a time when people are fucking dying for jobs, dying to work, people that need to pay the bills, you're gonna tell them not to go to work and boycott. You're gonna tell them not to go shopping.
Look, dude.
It sometimes it takes that. I mean,
Okay,
sometimes it takes that for change.
I understand that. Okay, for change, because look, we're looking at it now, right?
Yeah.
Like what change, what viable change has actually taken place?
Gas
Not
went
the-
down.
look. The Occupy movement caught fire, and what did they do? They destroyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everything that is spearheading its way that's a real threat gets knocked out. So the reason why I say it takes personal responsibility amongst people is because I feel once you take that initiative,
Yes.
and I'm not putting anyone down because hey, I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to everybody else.
Yep.
This is just an idea.
Yeah.
Once you take personal responsibility in whatever government, your own life, if you're addicted, whatever the fuck. Once you take personal responsibility, shit happens.
And I'm a full supporter of what you just said because I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at the road ahead of us. I don't just drive and look at the floor. I'm looking far ahead, and I want to make that change. And I agree. Boycotting will definitely stop these fuckers. And like you said before, it stops the bowel movement of society.
Essentially, what politicians are, they're employees that go and do the work to get roads and all this stuff. So since we as a population don't want to deal with it, we elect politicians. Look, let's go back to how the country started. A lot of people be like, okay, that's primitive, that's primitive, that's primitive. Look, dude, we have cameras that watch us. We have microphones that listen to us. All of these things that are embedded in technology
It's
that take away,
desensitizing
they
us.
take away levels and elements of privacy that we don't even notice because we go along with it.
It's just so normal.
It's so normal, exactly. You know, it's like, oh,
And it's constructed,
normal.
again, engineered. It's manufactured
Exactly.
and made that way.
So as time goes on and people evolve, the whole design evolves, you know. So once again, it takes a disconnect
Yeah.
from the Matrix. And believe me, that is very hard.
Can you disconnect?
You
though?
can,
You know,
but-
because in certain areas, like they're making living off the grid illegal. I think Florida. is
Yeah,
one of-
they want to
like,
charge.
What is the Matrix? What is that?
What's the Matrix? The Matrix
A
is
movie.
the Matrix are pills. No, on the real, the Matrix is laws that are frivolous. The Matrix is Palestine in Israel being in Palestine. The Matrix is, you know, giving tax dollars for something that you have no idea what is going towards. How many people don't support war and how much of their money goes to that?
Right.
That's the
It
Matrix.
sounds like everything that's wrong is what you're saying.
Okay, perfect example, bro. You made a song called Living in Reverse.
Living in reverse.
That
Living in reverse.
is the Matrix. You talk about how we don't listen to the words we use.
Yeah.
That's the Matrix. You know, you take the red pill, the blue pill, whatever you want. That's
It's
just
just
real.
even real.
It's because, look, you have an option, bro. You can either view the reality of it or you can fucking view fantasy land. What do you want? See, there you go. We talk about freedom. You have the freedom to fucking to view it for what it is or for you to go to fantasy land. That's why we got entertainment.
Isn't it easier to do that?
Of
And that's why
course.
so many people
Of
opt
course.
to do that because people don't want to break a sweat. I feel like, you know, like me, like earlier we were talking about like, yeah, you know, the whole thing about Paris, like, yeah, things that we're even saying people might, you know, take offense and want
Yeah.
to do some sort of harm. I think Lou and I, since the beginning, we established like, hey man, like we know this, we're doing it anyways. We're doing it regardless because this is for the betterment of society. We're taking that risk, and slowly but surely, I see people become more enlightened.
Yeah.
And I do see it, and it's horrible that it took the collapse of 2008 and everybody losing their homes and their jobs and the economy. But at the same time, it just woke people up.
You gotta look at it as
it's
growing.
just kind of like
you gotta look at it as growing pains. It's just like the addict, dude. That blows through all his money, and at the last moment, he's on the street. That's what it takes for a person to get clean. It's for you to be at the most
rock bottom.
Worst, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been there, and you know, it's not gonna be. It's gonna take like an earthquake or something really fucked up to happen.
Damn.
And
A
that's
fucking nuke going off in LA.
yeah, for us to actually be like, okay, now it's time to panic. And a lot of people walk around with their heads up, you know, with this fucking chip on their shoulder,
See, now that's the Matrix.
because they don't understand what the fuck they're doing.
Caught up in the Matrix. Like earthquakes don't exist in the Matrix. Fucking natural disasters don't exist. Fukushima doesn't exist in the Matrix.
Danger.
It's Nicki Minaj. It's I love UFC fights. UFC fights exist in the fucking Matrix.
Yeah.
Fucking sex appeal exists in the Matrix. Like, hey dog, I'm gonna go to the club and get some bitches. That exists in the Matrix.
Damn.
When you're right now, what we're doing, we're breaking, we're dissecting, we're getting called out on what is inaccurate. That is breaking out of it.
Yeah.
That is a first good step, you know. But see, look. But see, the key word being the first step. Where do we go from here? So, you know, I'm realizing it. You know, like that personal responsibility aspect of it.
You know,
because
man, this whole new year, I came into it just thinking like the best every day. And I know I was saying it earlier how like I hype myself up, but like I honestly, I'm at a point in life where I say, you know what, money, cash, I hate you. I'm not letting you take it. I know I need it. I know I need to pay my bills. I need to get gas. But I was like, you know what? I really want to try doing things that I enjoy and things that I want to do because our stay here is brief. Not living in the Matrix. You know that. I mean, I could go to my car after this show and get mugged and possibly murdered. Who knows?
Mike
Knock
was
on
like
some
this.
wood.
Mike was like this when he was talking about the money.
I'm never talking to you again.
No, I wanted.
Just
I
the
wanted
whole
to,
concept of money is retarded.
It's
you know?
about our
really
minds.
is, it really
I like
is.
what you said about that Matrix shit because I think we need. Here's the best thing we need to do to our brains, like Mike was saying, self-motivation. You really need to just fucking, like you were saying, meditating and shit. Like, yo, you need to sit there and be like, yo, I got your back, dog. Because our mind is like, I'm trying to pretend like that's our self-conscious. That fucking hallway sound indicates, hey, this is just me. I'm fucking on my own. No one gives a fuck about me. I got to do this shit for me.
look, I'll tell you this, dog, and I speak from experience. I speak from the pit of experience in this. When you hate yourself or you don't view yourself as a worthy asset or worthy anything, there's no will to surmount. There's no will to go ahead. You know, so you get caught up in the Matrix. You get pulled in it. You get caught up in that day to day. You do the grind. You don't give a fuck. But see, when you have meaning for yourself, when you have meaning for what you say, when you have a purpose, it changes.
You know what? You're just touching oh man, it's crazy. You're saying meaning because now it just kind of like connected. I was like, man, the media really doesn't give meaning to all the lives that have been lost in Iraq.
They give
Afghanistan.
stereotypes, bro.
Yeah, and that's why
Programs.
that's why the people don't feel any empathy in regards to these people because like, well, you know, these people kind of live out there, really don't have anything to live for. They're in war. They're probably gonna die anyways. Like,
It's arrogance mixed with ignorance, bro.
and it's entitlement too. You
And
know, it's like
entitlement, yeah.
we're entitled to this, and they're not. And that's what I feel like.
It's
the
like a
difference
Muslim
is.
life is less than Americans, and it's like no. Dude.
I mean, it could be
Fucking
applied.
life is a
It could be
life.
applied across the board. You know, to different things. But that just struck a chord with me because it's like, wow, like you know, they really are mimicking who has value and who doesn't have value.
Well, let's look at how many people have died in Iraq.
Millions, dude.
Millions. But see, the media, the machine,
20,000.
even if they were to say 20,000, it'd be triple that. See, so the media is here to give the image, the surface image of what it is. You view the surface image, it looks like that. I don't need to read the book. I already know what it's about. Because look at what it looks like.
You're like pretty much like the headlines.
Yes.
You know, it's the headlines, you know. And
One
it's
headline,
crazy.
why believe it?
Yeah.
2 headlines, why believe it? Research that bitch. Find out if it's true.
I could.
You
I said
got a
this-
brain.
I said
Use
this
that
on a
shit.
previous show that I feel what the Muslims are doing is not. It is extreme, but like I watch TMZ at my break room. I watch Dish Radio or Dish Nation or whatever, bro, and like I want to fucking start beating shit up.
Don't you think flying drones from here over there is extreme? Don't you think having Guantanamo Bay torture people and them not disclose it is extreme? Don't you think?
No, it's been disclosed. Now they said, yeah, you know
But
what?
there's
We
still-
kind of
there-
did do waterboarding.
Dude, there's cases right now that they fuck. I was hearing today they fucking killed 2 guys that are barely. It's barely surfacing now. You know, they basically tortured them to death. You know what they said? They're like, dude, we found the new Auschwitz. It's in Guantanamo Bay.
What's Auschwitz?
Auschwitz is where they killed the Jews.
It was a concentration
Concentration
camp during
camps.
World War II.
They tortured them.
Yeah, yeah.
Experimented on
Gas
them.
chambers and
All that shit. So, we talk about extremity. To me, what they did in France was extreme. But what we do and what we fund
was that
on a
real?
regular basis.
Yeah, I was about to say that
What was
because
that?
I'm reading
Was it
some shit
even
now
real?
that they
Like-
shot a dude in the head and no blood came out of his head.
Yeah, there was a cop.
Hey, you know what? I always bring this up. As soon as I heard that, I was just like, I don't know if I believe this. And they're saying that like these guys are wearing ski masks, they're all pro, and you know what? We found one of the guy's IDs. In
You
the
know what
car.
else they said? They said Sandy Hook didn't happen. So no kids died.
Well, the FBI report says that there was zero deaths.
There was fucking no kids that died.
Yeah.
But I want to say that like
And FEMA was actually
6
having a drill that same day. Not
And
too
you know what's
far
funny?
from
They
it.
found actors that were at the Boston bombing and
the
were
Sandy
at the
Hook.
Sandy Hook.
I think it's important to say that
True.
6 corporations get to
True.
see what we read in our newspapers and our magazines, get to see on television, and what we get to hear on the radio. 6 corporations, dude. It used to be about 80 back in the 50s, and something changed. Motherfuckers are bought out.
It's called monopolization.
You know, the people that own BET, the original owners, are like so ashamed of selling
They
their
sold
company.
out, bro.
Course,
They
of
sold out.
course.
Because
But
what
look-
they have done to BET is completely shit.
There's a song out there called "Welcome to the New
I know they
Age."
took away
Welcome
Comic
to the
View.
New
Come on.
Age. Look at dude. Welcome to the New Age.
I got that song. I like it.
Radiation.
Radioactive.
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 It's a poisonous time to be in right now. It's a tumultuous time to be in right now. But at the same time, amongst all that poison and tumultuousness that fucking exists, it's a prime time, I feel, where everything from like your spirituality, your chakras, your vibration, your true essence as a human has a chance to poke out of the matrix. There's something weird going on, I feel, because you alluded to it, Mike. You're just like, there's something like people are just becoming more enlightened. Something is out there.
Something's happening.
So there's like a transformation. I feel it, But see, maybe that's why there's so many extreme things going on. It's because they want to deter that.
Well, it takes an extreme measure to make things change. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, let's be realistic. I mean, and I'm not condoning any acts of terrorism.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning that. I'm saying, yeah, go do. I'm just saying, though, it's brought change.
It
I
has.
mean, if that movie with Denzel Washington, John Q, I think,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the hospital
Yeah, hospital,
situation where
yeah,
he
yeah.
goes, has a gun, he's like, you're going to give my kid a heart, And, it's
And
just
what was
like,
it over? It was over greed, why they didn't want to do it.
Exactly, man. And it just really goes to show you, like, is there any human empathy anymore? Is there love? Because so people, like, as soon as you say love, oh, this guy's gay. It's like, no, dude.
Fruitcake.
Like, no. The reality is that love. That genuine love. We're like, oh, like if I'm talking to Lou, like, oh yeah, that dude's cool, man. I enjoy.
I got mad love for him.
Yeah, I got mad love for dude. He's always speaking his mind, and like no homosexual innuendo, whatever. But it's just like saying like, I connect with you, man, and with Lou the same thing. And I honestly feel like I've been surrounding myself with that, and I see more people becoming more enlightened. I'm following Chris, the guy who called in
awesome.
on Facebook.
Awesome.
Also, this guy's 16,
I'm a
bro.
fan. I'm a fan of Chris, man.
Can you imagine? Okay, what are they doing to these 16-year-olds? Because they everything I go on World Star Hip Hop a lot,
Yeah.
try to see like the late things that are going on. I've even been
fights.
listening to Power 106 lately. I've
Fights.
been
Fights.
watching the TMZ stuff, and I'm watching it because I'm trying to learn what are they doing. What do they do that they're so successful at that they just grasp you? They hook you in.
It's not
man.
success though. Like they're desperate. They're trying to draw your attention
But
as
they
much
have
as they
these people's
can.
minds, though,
Do they
so
only
it
have
is
1
success.
million followers on YouTube? That ain't shit. They got so many people in America. Do you think they would be really popular? We're talking about like half the country's watching it. They don't got shit, man. The reason why they're on TV is to distract us. Their job, their whole criteria is to see how fucking filthy they can get to draw your attention to pull out that animal.
It's to take away from love. You know, you redefine love.
Yeah, because all they do is talk about your flaws, how fucking, you
look,
don't look perfect.
19. Okay.
Dude, just one thing really quick. The yearbook at this, I was just reading an article today, a yearbook that was for school. You know, you graduate, whatever, you get a yearbook. They photoshopped every single individual that was chubby to look slimmer.
Oh, yeah.
That is wild.
Look.
That is crazy.
As I was saying, you know, 1930s definition of love. What is, right? Okay, let's just say what I don't know. I'm just rhetorically speaking. Okay, 1950s love. What was the definition of love in 1950s? 1980s. What was the definition? And let's go to now. I promise you, they're different.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They've become more or less or whatever, you know.
Hey,
in my
Bone
opinion,
Thugs, for the love of money.
there you go. You know, for the love of the greed, bro. For the love of the hustle. For what though? For what?
You know,
oh my God, the radio is completely on that shit where it's twisting the whole word. It's all about fucking nowadays. Chris, what up? You got a question?
Yeah, I know it's kind of a little bit unrelated to what you were just talking about, but one thing I want to talk about right now is that what do you think about this new plan that's, for 2 years of community college for free?
Oh.
Is it the right direction? I think there's a catch-22 to this.
Yeah, there's a catch-22,
you know,
man.
It's awesome that you brought that up because I was
Catch-22.
actually talking about that. I was like, okay, now that they've hijacked education, now that they have their agenda, they have their authors writing the books, they're forcing their agenda. They're going to teach you what they want you to learn. So I kind of feel like there's an agenda behind it.
Well, I mean, I think there's already an example of that going on right now. Look at Obamacare.
Yeah.
You know, they supposedly socialized medicine a little bit, you know, and made it affordable, which is it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. It wasn't meant to be made affordable.
I think what it's doing, at least in that aspect, educationally, I think you got a point, Mike. You know, maybe it's to make more money for people. I don't know. I can't elaborate
I think
on
it's
that.
to push an agenda. I think
it is. To go on what Chris said, I think there is a catch-22.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's look at like Obamacare. You know, like I think it's to still have the profit making and for the illusion to seem like, oh, you can get healthcare. It's affordable. Shitty. It's affordable.
What I would rather like him say is, you know what, you guys got screwed into these student loans. We're gonna forgive.
Yeah, we'll
those.
forgive all
you know,
that.
That's something
and you
that
know what's
would,
crazy? Him being the commander in chief, he has that authority.
You know, that would really help out some people. But I mean, the 2 years, I really want to take it and be like, yo, I hope it's really good because I'm a product of community college. I really push it to everybody. I think it really does help you. But again, you're only going to learn what you want. It's based on the student. But again, I feel like it's been hijacked. There's an agenda behind it. It's like the Koch brothers. You know, they go to schools. I bring this up on like so many podcasts. They go to schools, say, hey, you want money? Okay, well, check it out. You're going to teach our curriculum. We're going to install these books. We're going to teach this.
And it's funny because when we go to pollution and we talk about, you know, the emissions, it's like the agenda's like, no, dude, no. Like we need more nuclear power plants. We need more fossil fuels.
What do you think about it, Chris? Do you think it's a good idea?
Well, you know, I think if it was done like how it's done in other countries, yeah, but I don't think it's going to be the same. It's not like, again, like Obamacare is not done like how, you know, the Russian healthcare system or the Venezuelan healthcare system, or, you know, actually places where they actually give free healthcare. No, it's just a law that forces you to pay healthcare.
And if you don't pay, you get taxed.
You get taxed, yeah.
Now you're even more in debt. I don't get how that helps poor people at all.
It doesn't.
That's why I feel this community college thing, what I feel like it's going to do is just force kids, you know, into 2 more years of having to sit through propaganda, and they're going to be 20 years old, you know, before they're out of the propaganda system.
Yes,
they're trying to prolong it since there's no jobs.
Because the thing is, it'll be like that, if you don't do the community college, it'll be like not having a high school diploma nowadays.
Oh my
Everybody's
God!
gonna take advantage of it.
Wow! Holy shit! Yeah, you're right, bro.
Yeah, there's something big.
Shit.
Definitely something big behind that. When I heard that break, I was just like, yeah, there's definitely something going on.
Real quick, Chris, can you repeat that for everybody real quick? Because I think you touched on something really epic, brother.
Yeah, it's 2 more years of high school, essentially. You're going to be stuck there because everybody's going to take it. You mean, the law is like, think about it. There's no law saying you have to finish high school, but everybody does it because it's free and they feel like that's what they have to do to get a job. That's how it's going to become this community college, is that there'll be no option. If I have kids in America one day, they'll have to be in high school / college till they're 20. However, if I was, number one, I'm not going to be here when I have kids. Number two, I'm not going to put them through the public education system like I had to go through, because I didn't learn anything in the public education system.
Well, what's the alternative?
Homeschooling.
What's the alternative? I mean, besides, you want to leave this country?
Yes, I'll probably go.
crossed my mind.
Probably in and out of this country at least.
Where would you go, Chris? Where you plan on leaving to?
Well, there's many places I think that are better than here. It's like Venezuela would be one of the options, just because it's right. I have family there already. I speak the language. I could go to university for free without even having to get my citizenship. I could just walk there with my diploma and say, I would like to attend university here, and then would say I would do a little bit of paperwork, then I'd be sitting in the classroom within a couple weeks with no charge, and I'm not even a citizen of Venezuela.
Sounds good to me, man. I would go to Sweden, man. They got beautiful looking women. You can carry a gun, and everything's organic over there. That's why everyone looks good.
Yeah, but the problem is that and I feel like Venezuela is one of the last holdouts of this New World Order. That's why they've been targeting them so much.
Well, I think the same thing with Russia too. I think Russia's going against this whole New World Order. I mean, that's why.
Yeah, and they're a little bit more stable. That's why I might pick them over, because
that's why
Venezuela, unfortunately, is kind of unstable. I mean, there's a lot of political unrest. And,
Well,
and
the
right
whole
now they
thing.
have-
How do you feel about the whole thing with the oil sham right now, with the OPEC cartel pretty much saying, like, you know what, the Saudis are like, yeah, you know what, we're not going to cut production. We don't care if it goes down to $20. We just want to make sure that these shale oil fracking companies in the United States go under. I mean, it's crazy because it's affecting Russia. It's affecting Venezuela. I mean, anybody that produces oil except pretty much the
US,
the leader,
the Saudis,
OPEC, is Saudi Arabia.
But with
Well,
Russia,
yeah, the thing is, it's going to hurt Americans eventually. Americans don't
it
think
is.
that way because they think it's a war only against Venezuela and Iran. But the thing is, like you said, it's going to attack the people who have jobs in the oil. Up in the Dakotas. You know how many people are employed up in North Dakota. With the shale
Their whole
gas
community
up there,
depends
South
on that.
Dakota. And so eventually, it's going to hurt American workers.
Okay. So, Chris, I mean, and Cepta, I know you guys both seem to have similar views. Are you guys socialists? Chris?
I mean, I wouldn't say, because here's the thing, is that when people think socialist, number one is that I want to make one clarification, is that what we have in this government, this whole New World Order, it goes back to a system of corporatism, which is Mussolini defined. Corporatism is really fascism, because in fascism is the combination of the corporation and the state. That's what America is. It's a fascist country. So so let me remind you, socialism, at least in theory, I mean, there's been times where it's been corrupted, is a system where the workers are eventually take power. Now, what I believe in is that there should be no state eventually. So
there should be no what?
I mean, I would call myself a anarcho-socialist, if anything. I mean, I don't believe in this whole, because here's the thing with these anarcho-capitalists, which also are very prevalent, and I see. Is the problem with them is that they believe that corporations should have no regulations on them, and that's the problem in the first place. Because that's how they have the corporations are the problem. They're the root. They've attached themselves to the government and then use the government to eliminate all competition. Then they start striking back at it. Instead of Wall Street gets helped out instead of Main Street. And Main Street
Too big to fail.
is where you have the small businesses that built America in the first place.
Yep.
It wasn't the big multinational corporations that built America. No, it was people like you and me opening little shops, and then that built America to its greatness. And then we got taken over by an oligarchy, and then it's been an oligarchy since, for now about 100 years, ever since the Federal Reserve, I would say, is when we officially became an oligarchy.
that was what,
You have
1910?
the rich controlling your currency.
1913. Well, what's the other option? What's our alternative? What can we do to reverse this?
For those who aren't leaving the states.
I mean, well,
live off the grid?
Yeah, well, it's an endless amount of steps that need to be taken. But there's one thing: is stop exchanging dollars. Stop using the Federal Reserve notes. They're worthless.
Damn.
Start exchanging in other mediums of currency. Start exchanging in bitcoins or all these other. And also another thing too: the people that have money in the United States and the people that have built themselves a decent amount of wealth, the hard workers that have gone to that point. Don't lose all your money when we have an economic crash soon, when they have to restructure the dollar. It's like, I tell you, you need to invest in either A, gold, B, rubles, buy them low, because they're only going to go up from here. I mean, I know that they're suffering right now, but it can only go up.
Cool beans. Well, thanks for the call, Chris. We got to keep the show flowing, man. I appreciate the call, man. So, are you with him on that? I mean, are you a socialist? Dude could talk forever.
He's got a lot of knowledge, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give myself a label. I'm for social medicine. I'm for social education. I'm for
social studies.
I'm for social. Yeah, man.
You just said it, a label. That's one thing I really hate is like labels, because I remember back in the day, like right now, like hip hop is the cool thing. It's big. Like there's hip hop shows.
Raps.
Everybody's see, when I was growing up, that didn't exist.
No.
Like it, in Orange County, at least, it did not exist. Like places where there's like freestyle battles and
those were people that would flow.
It did not exist. So
where are you getting at?
The point I'm trying to make is that back then, I'd say hip hop, and they just right off the bat they think like that gangster rap or something instead of like enlightened rap or some underground.
That's what media has done, is bastardize what hip hop
and they're
stands
great at
for.
it. I mean, they're good
Except
at what they do.
What is hip hop? What should hip hop be? What should hip hop be?
Hip hop. What should it be, or what is it?
What should it be? What should it be in your eyes?
I think it never changed. I think people took what it was originally and turned it into this thing what we have now. But look, man, when it started, you have people talking about where they grew up, dealing with corrupt cops. Look at Public Enemy.
The history of hip hop was like these dudes didn't even have enough money for an instrument, so their voice, beatboxing, rapping, that was an instrument, and they used it.
Well, look, because at that time there's people, there was a lot of fucking crime and shit, so you had people that
there was a lot of stories that weren't getting covered.
That too.
So they were like the ghetto journalists in a way. They were in the hood.
So then you had songs being made. You had people writing and displaying artistic pieces on subways in New York. But from just that, first I feel it started as an avenue of expression, and from that avenue of expression it turned into like, hey yo, we're being fucked with this way. Fight the power.
Yeah.
You got Public Enemy saying fight the power. And it's funny and fucked up at the same time, but it's so fucked up that it's funny, is that that's how you get NWA. Yeah. You had to counterbalance to something that was positive in Public Enemy, so you created NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you get Tupac. And don't get me wrong, Tupac's a real philosophical brother, man. He was on point. But when he sold out to get money.
Yeah.
Because when you're in death row, you get paid. That video's out there, with a bunch of hundreds, man. But you see, there's interviews of him saying, you know what? We need to give back to our community. He's like, it's fucked up when you got motherfuckers destroying their community and then they come back to the same community when they're from the same community that they destroy with their music, And it just...
But isn't his raps like the same shit when he's saying West Coast, East Coast? I mean, what are you doing there? You're separating and you're dividing, and you're fucking up communities because now people want to bang. And don't get me wrong, I think Tupac was a brave-hearted motherfucker. Mm-hmm. The problem is that he was being brave to the extent where like he turned into a gang member.
Well, I mean, when you get the Thug Life version, or when you get dude, I get it. That's what you came up with, and that's what you experienced. That's cool, But for you to promote that agenda, I don't give a fuck.
He's bragging, yeah.
Look, dude, it was funny because there's obviously a lot of tribes everywhere, but, they fight amongst each other, There's a specific tribe in Africa, I forgot the name of it. But they asked, hey, well, who's your idol? Fucking Tupac. And there's a Tupac with guns and shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, like, okay, dude, like, that's the portrayal of, the mainstream media or whatever it was to set that agenda out there, but that wasn't him.
Yeah, and he was like talking shit when he was in jail about Ice Cube, how he was doing the whole West Side Connection thing, and it's like, that's like a bitterness. Like, dude, you created this shit. Now people are following you, and you're mad at them for copying you.
It's
like what
with
the
Biggie.
fuck do you want?
It's like with Biggie, dog. Like
right?
that whole beef thing. Like I was hearing, and I think I'm right. I could be wrong, but I was hearing that they came together, they talked about it, or he tried to be like, yo, let's do this beef thing so we can get some money.
Yeah.
And Biggie's like, nah, dog, like,
yeah, I'm not with that shit.
I'm not with that shit. And he's like, well, I'm gonna go along and did it. That's what he did.
Yeah. And you can buy those fucking DVDs at the Swami called Beef, where 50 Cent, talks about how. But look at Kanye West and 50 Cent. They did that shit intentionally, and it works. The populists are fucking stupid.
You know what's funny though is that it's a spectacle. That's all it is. It's a spectacle. It's for people to be like, oh shit, did you hear the 50 Cent diss to Kanye?
Yeah.
And it's funny because these guys behind doors are like, hey, you want to make some money?
Well, dude, it's just like recently, and I just because I read a lot of different things, but YG and like DJ Mustard going back and forth about it on Instagram. It's a novela, you know. It's a soap opera, bro. It's entertainment.
Snoop
you know
Dogg and Izzy, whatever her fucking face is.
Oh, Iggy Azalea going back. It's all, dude. It's to stay relevant. How old is Snoop Dogg?
Old.
That fool's pretty old. I mean, all these guys, DJ Quick, Too Short.
Honestly, all of these people, I do not. I hear a lot of my peers talk about, oh, I idolize Tupac or Too Short or DJ Quick, and it's like, damn, that's crazy, dog. That's a crazy motherfucker to idolize. who I don't idolize anyone, but who I look up to, who I learn from. Immortal Technique. You got Low Key. It's crazy. I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm like, I've learned more from Immortal Technique's albums and songs than I did in school.
Real talk. Yeah.
And I used to like worship Tupac, and like if there was any rapper that was mainstream, it'd be him that I really have a lot of respect for. At the same time, I'm disappointed that he encouraged us to end up in a jail cell. You know, that's what really bothered me. But where was I going with this? I think that, Immortal Technique, KRS-One, these guys are relevant to me because they're like teachers, and they're teaching you we don't want to fuck you over. And that's the misinterpretation that people get when they say, you don't like Tupac? You're fucking kidding me, right? And I'm like, nah, dude. Like, I kind of listened to what he said. The dude had major talent, just like there's talent out there right now that I've heard on the streets. But what he's talking about isn't going to benefit anyone. It's not going to bring us together. It's going to separate us and want to fucking end up in a jail cell. There's no other way around it. Like, and that's why I get confused when I hear people saying they still bump it. I'm like, how can you listen to this and think it's a positive message or it's going to help you in any way?
I think that's just it's the cool thing for you to do is to like.
And what is cool, Cepta?
No, the cool thing is to smoke weed.
That's the most relaxing thing you can do.
No, but I just mean as trends. You know, it's just super cool to just blaze and smoke. Like
I really think it makes people feel good though.
Yeah,
it really is a medicine.
You know what I think is a new trend? Wax.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, did you get that wax? Like, I don't even smoke wax,
you know,
dog. Like, I'll smoke wax on occasion.
I'm old school, man. I like.
I like my
trees.
flowers, homie. Like, don't fuck with my flowers.
Yeah. And that's one thing, you know, because earlier you touched on like where all these groups at, you know, this, that, and one of them that I followed was Cypress Hill, you know, and
they still exist.
Yeah, they still exist. And you know, I was actually on YouTube the other day, and I was just watching all these videos and something on the hook, B Real's going like, Santa Ana, Orange County, something about he got a collective out here. So, but I was just like, you know what?
And that's the little things the little trickeries that work for me when I would hear rappers mention California, like, oh fuck, I'm in California.
West Side.
Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter.
But you know what? To us,
I'm on Earth.
But
son.
to us, we might be able to say
I represent Earth, dude.
But to some people, it does mean all that. It really does. Like,
why?
Okay, real quick.
Because people are very proud of where they're from.
No,
are they really from here though? Where are their roots, dude?
It goes down to like, why do you like the Cowboys so much? Are you a Cowboy? Are you even from Texas? No.
Exactly.
I like the fucking team. I like the color, or I like the way they play. Or
how about Chevy versus Ford?
Yeah, there you go. We could
Ford,
do that.
Fix or repair daily. You know what I mean? Like,
they're like, Chevys are the shit. You know?
But people like literally are willing to like fight to the death over these emotions.
And
like,
and here's the thing is that it's so frivolous and it leads to nothing.
That's my whole point. What the fuck are we doing, you know?
But see, we got to realize, though.
What are we doing?
Where does that come from? We're taught.
It's engineered, man.
To do that. Okay, look. I got into an argument with it wasn't even an argument. It was just a discussion. I don't consider it an argument.
A debate.
Didn't even make a valid argument in my point, but whatever. I could be wrong. I'm not. Anyways. So, just like, okay, dog, like, you got to teach your kids what to view and what to be influenced.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, then you're weak-minded, right? And check this out, man.
Because you're at work 2 jobs just to pay rent and put food on the table, right?
Yeah,
because everybody's the same in this world.
Or if I make music and I put garbage music out there, you know, like, come on, dog. My opinion, if you speak, if you say something, you influence. So the mere fact that you influence, you have a responsibility.
Yes.
Huge responsibility.
But see, people, they don't want that. They want the fame. They want the glory. They want...
I got 1,000 followers.
Let me stop you really quick.
And it's like...
Elvis, Beatles, like, they had the fame. They were doing the right shit. They were kicking knowledge.
Yeah, to an extent.
To positive messages, bro.
Extent.
Were they ever saying fuck bitches?
They weren't saying fuck bitches, but they weren't saying, hey, fight the power.
Okay, let's talk about Fight the Power then. Let's talk about those dudes. Who are they anyway?
Public
Enemy.
Chuck D.
D, yeah, still around.
I bet D. Yeah.
Professor Griff.
They had fame. They had fame. Did they not? They were big. Were they not? Not. They were mainstream too. Let me ask you, like, today you're talking about people want to go with the fame, and where did that turn? Where did that twist?
I think at that time when they had that fame, it was different kind of fame. It was just a different paradigm. It was a different existence.
Immortal Technique's doing what they were doing.
Okay, but see, most people like Immortal Technique because he's Immortal Technique. They don't know what the fuck they say. They can't. Oh yeah, the fourth branch of the government was media. They don't know. They can say that and regurgitate it, and I could be wrong. But the reason why I say this is because I've experienced people like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people that I ran into when they talk about Mortal Technique are, oh yeah, that's Mortal Technique. That fool's sick.
Really?
That fool's sick. And it's not like, yo, I learned a lot from that fool, or
wow,
I found out this, or
it's
I
almost like
that.
all the blacks that bandwagon on Martin Luther King.
There you go.
That don't really know what he reps.
It's the same thing.
You know, it kind of goes with the likes on Facebook or anything across the social media. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a monkey see, monkey do type of action.
Yeah.
Because I remember there's one time where somebody's like, well, if you actually have fans, whatever the fuck that means, define a fan. What is a fan? Is it a true loyal fan? Mm-hmm. Is that somebody, or is it just somebody, oh, well, my friend liked it, so, you know, I'm going to like them. And you know what? I'm going to friend request them. And so I just feel like it's a lot of monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. I feel like this program right here, I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm doing it to really educate people and to really come together with other people who are like-minded that we could actually make a change in this planet, you know, in our short time here.
Besides everything, we're doing this because we enjoy it.
It's actually, awesome. I do this show to better myself.
But do you enjoy it?
I was a very broken spirit person when I was growing up. You know, I grew up in a pretty wild environment once I left the mobile homes where I was living at to a worse area, better condition because my pops, but the people were fucking contagious. Talking about graffiti artists, people that wanted to vandalize everything, fucking throw bricks at shit. I mean, we were bad. We had moon people. Like,
I'm cool with the spray paint. Fuck the bricks though.
We had moon people. We'd go into Round Table's Pizza and we would pretend like we were James Bond agents and we'd roll on the floor and shit and grab a slice of pizza real fast. We were just stupid fucks, and that's what kids do. But my whole point was that, fuck, where was I going? My brother was, I don't know what I was going with that. I had something to say, but I forgot. But my brother, he was telling me in high school that this kid didn't even know what the fuck 9/11 was.
No. I was like, oh, is that the emergency number?
And yeah, they're young kids. Like I was young, I was a stupid fuck. I was able to, the podcast, like this show, I listen to it very carefully. I listen to myself very carefully. I notice I have like a stuttering issue. I mumble sometimes. I'm not perfect. And when I listen to the show, it helps me become perfect. It helps me find my perfections. And no way am I fucking anything considered top notch, the best motherfucker that existed. But what I'm doing is bettering myself and liking myself and enjoying. Yes, I do enjoy the show because
it's all that matters.
Because I want to do something I've never done before.
Look, for the mere fact that you enjoy what you're doing and what is of your enjoyment is impacting other people. It's a golden combination.
And my intention is only to impact them in a positive way and to warn them. You know,
tell me how much more gold or diamonds, and I speak metaphorically, how much more of that would you need for it to be sweet?
I don't know. I don't know about diamonds.
I mean, yeah, the diamonds.
Diamonds are hard to find.
Oh no, this is a diamond.
Oh yes, sir.
You found it.
Yes, sir.
You're speaking of a diamond.
I'm capturing time,
You
bro.
are capturing time, and you're turning into diamonds, my friend.
Yeah.
So check this out. The very fact that you're right here doing what you love, dialogue, what you love right now, and maybe there's one or two people out there that are just like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazement.
That makes it worth it.
That right there, brother, is worth more than all the cash in the world. Because remember when you said it, the worst thing to do here, dog, or life is so short to leave this bitch without a fucking message that impacts. And that is so fucking right. Because how much of us are so garnered towards making a lot of money. We were talking about that.
You know what?
Yesterday.
You just sparked my mind right now because I was about to say define success. Because last night we were on the phone and we were talking and because somebody was saying like, oh, you gotta switch your style, switch your lyrics. It's like, nah, dude, like. No, like what is success in that guy's mind compared to us or
not
you?
The same as me. And
that's, like to me, this is a successful show right here. Like this, just being here.
The three of us here talking right now at the same time is a success.
Yeah,
what's that old saying? Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And then you get it, and you're like, I'm fucking miserable.
Exactly.
Got all these people who just want me for my money. They don't even know who I am.
Fake fans.
These girls don't even really love me genuinely. They
I fuck them all the time, but it's not even real. Like,
it's
feels
meaningless.
Empty.
It's meaningless, yeah.
And that's
look, guys, going to girls, I would rather have sex with fucking 2 chicks or 3 chicks and me end up fucking and I mean throughout my whole life, and me wife one of them, because She was perfect.
Bro, why do you? What I see now is like it's just being promiscuous is like the cool thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you break
Yeah.
down lyrics from like Taylor Swift, Katy Perry,
It's all fucking-
we've all touched on this
It's all
before, you know. But it's sad to see these little girls when I'm, you know, with their ass cheeks hanging out, and it's like, dude, like really, like
One of Taylor Swift's songs, she's like, and it's a new song. She's like, "Oh my God, look at his face. He looks like my next mistake."
Yeah.
How the fuck can you say that?
You know, it's crazy because one time I was in the car with my parents and we were going to my niece's little Christmas show, and my wife was in there. We're listening to this. I don't want to go to school. I want to break the rules, and like that was the hook. And I was like, listen to this, you guys. I was like, listen to this. I'm all really, really listen to it. And everybody stayed silent. They're just listening. I was like,
But that's nothing. I mean, Will Smith used to say that in his set, you know?
yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is this: is that like, listen to this, mom. I'll be aware of this because when you have the little girls in the back, you know, they're
Oh, yeah.
you know,
They're hearing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the point I was trying to make is
My
that
bad.
their subconscious is
Yeah.
like be aware of what you're playing on the radio. If this is on, turn it off and communicate with them better.
You know,
what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I
Like,
hate,
talk
I hate to
them.
say this, but like I don't get why people do that. But let me say why I think I do get it, because I'm in the break room at work and there's Univisions on.
Oh yeah.
Every fucking thing has to do with a woman's breast out, or somebody making out,
yeah.
or two people making out, and
Yeah.
someone in the bushes looking
Very
like
sexual,
a girl.
yeah.
Constant. It's
Yeah.
like it's constant. It's
Yeah.
not just like
Even
5
if you-
seconds.
It's embedded, dude. It's
Even
like,
if you
this
go
is
to
norm.
images, dude. Even if you like, okay, for example, I have this Budweiser little placard hanging in my house. I have a bachelor pad, yeah.
Yeah, I've been
So
there.
yeah, you've been there, dog. So I have this, and it's outside. So I'll show you this, Mike, when I see you next time.
For
So
sure.
basically, it's an image of La Basílica in Mexico, La Ciudad.
What is
Mexico
that?
I've
City.
been there.
It's what is
church.
this, like one of the first
Main
spots
church.
where the Virgin Mary appeared.
Yeah.
You know, Juan Diego goes into that. So basically, okay, he's in front. So it's a Budweiser, you know, advertisement. It's a picture. And the guy's dancing like this, and the girl's like that. But if you look at it, it looks like he's grabbing her fucking like this to see her chest. When you look at it, it's
Yeah.
like a subliminal message, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
there's a bunch of letters, but it spells out sex,
Yeah.
but you can't see it. But then once you see it, it's like,
It's all over the
pop.
place, dude.
Not only that, once you decode it, it pops out to you like a bright color.
Yeah.
Every time you see the image, it'll pop out. So it's funny because every time I see this image, this guy's trying to look at her tits, you know? And I'm just like, dude, for the untrained mind that sees that, like it's communicating with them so deep, so on a level that is so deep, which is the subconscious, that they don't even know what is influencing them.
And you
they
know
just
what?
get,
And
you know?
you said it's a bachelor pad, but overall these days, like, I mean, we have kids having kids.
Yeah.
So, like, the kids having kids, you know, they're having the cell phones, they're watching all the Jackass and the Beavis and or whatever it is, South Park's Family Guy these days, and they let their little kids watch it like it's fucking normal because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
Right.
Because to them, that's fucking normal.
I'm guilty of
You know what
that,
I'm
man.
saying?
When I was like
Well-
21, I gave my sister a Ludacris CD. I was like 20, and I really regret it till this day. And it took me a while to find out, like, do I really care about what they're seeing? And I mean, I went to college, and that's what really opened me up, and it really changed me to another degree. I wanted to mention something you were just saying. I just fucking totally forgot, though.
But that's awesome that you were able to analyze that.
Yeah.
Like we were saying earlier, we're like, oh, it's cool that you were able to capture
Oh,
that.
you
know?
said training. They don't even know how that's been trained in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like just saying training, like who is training, and then to understand that humans can be trained is the fucking trip of all trips,
Yeah.
because we're literally from knee high being trained a certain way, and it stays there. It is, you have to untrain yourself for that shit.
gotta install.
Dogma is that. So
What's dogma?
Dogma is religion. So what's dogmatic is when you are taught like this is God from a young age. You don't have the ability to differentiate what could be. Like this is God, and you grow up believing
forced
this is
upon
God.
you.
It's forced upon you since a kid. That's dogma. You don't question it. It's given to you as a kid. You go as your culture.
You know,
it's dogma.
One thing I want to touch on that, it was recently my little niece's birthday, and my sister was like, okay, you know, we're going to take you to Disneyland or whatever, but hopefully it doesn't rain. And then the next day comes and it's raining. And then my little niece was like, oh, no, but, you know, I prayed to God and I asked him for it to not to rain, you know, but just her mind, the way she sees God as it's being explained, you know, like, and that's kind of, I'm not going to say it's scary, but it's kind of like, dang, like it's embedded that if we pray for something, you know, it's going to happen in a way, you know? And
it's like, it's like a fucking.
it's like all you got to do is pray. And you
just
know,
rub the fucking lamp. You'll get 3 wishes.
You know,
No,
I was
fuck
having
no.
this conversation with my cousin the other day. I was taking him to LA, and we were talking about the whole, I'm losing my train of thought right here. What were we
Goddamn
talking
beer.
about? I know, right? Fucking alcohol.
You know what you should have done? You should have smoked the point, dog.
You know, I should have.
We're gonna go to a break right now, so wrap it up, Mike. What did you want to say? Did you forget?
But no, what I was saying, I was on the freeway with my cousin, and we were talking about religion and all that, and we're saying like how when you're young, you know, it's embedded in your mind to just kind of pray for things. And I'm not saying that it's a lie, you know, because I think praying is, you know, it's a good spiritual thing, and it kind of. But when you're young, you really don't know. And he was just saying like, you know, when you're young and you start growing up in your teens, you're like, oh, well, you know, God and destiny, it's in God's hands. You know, it's a great expression to use, but it kind of kills motivation in a way, because we were talking about it. We're like, yeah, you know, we were raised Catholic our whole life. And, you know, like, do you really feel as motivated? You know, because when you're with God, it's like God is almighty, you know, because our whole life we're told, oh, just pray, mijo, just pray, just believe, go to church.
God,
you know,
God will take care of you.
God will
mijo.
take care of you.
But
You know, you
motivated
have
for
your
what? What are we
motivated
motivated?
for God's going to take care of it. You know, just anything. That's the thing, is that it's a huge umbrella. Like, don't worry about it because God's got you.
It's kind of like, oh, I don't have a job.
It's like,
God
oh,
will take care of
no,
it.
it's kind of like, oh, I don't have to try so hard because, you know, God's got me. Or like, oh, you know what, I really don't have to go to school because, you know what, God has.
I actually can flip that and say you push yourself harder by saying, you know, God's got my back. I'm going to do this. You can also flip it around and say, because I remember when I was like fucking down and out, like praying to God, you know, like I still believe, like I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Where you can flip it and say, if people that don't believe in God, they're fucking drug addicts or on the streets.
The point I'm trying to say is that it's conditioning since when you're little. You're indoctrinated.
But there's two ways of looking at it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to bring
two
is
ways to everything, my friends.
Oh, of course. But the point I'm trying to make though is in reference to like these younger kids, where like they really don't know the whole mental aspect of breaking this stuff down. Because I see it time and time from my personal experience. I see with a lot of people just kind of they're not motivated at all, and they're very religious.
What about the cucuy?
The cucuy, you better watch out with him.
I know the cucuy.
Don't mess with him or the Llorona.
What is a cucuy?
The cucuy
It's
is
a chupacabra. No.
the chupacabra and the cucuy and all those motherfuckers are.
Were you guys ever scared to use the restroom like me?
At night?
Yeah,
with
to turn off the light, you'd run down the hall and flip the
yeah.
light.
For some reason, when I was 7, I was scared to just use the restroom outside of my house. I don't know why. I just thought.
It's a whole thing of fear, you know, because if you believe in a God, you obviously have to believe in the
Oh,
devil.
yes.
I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Maybe
with
that's
it.
where the original concept of what good and evil and duality comes from. Because let me tell you one thing.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying religion is bad or believing in God or praying. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying, you know, do whatever works for you. But
Some dude was telling me.
Hold on, I got a question though, real quick, Lou. I got a question though. What happens when God or good finally defeats evil? Where do we go from there?
It's called heaven.
Realistically speaking, there's no more evil to fucking fight. Like, we over-conquered the evil because that's what we're here to do, you know? We're always fighting evil. Like, you got to look against the evil. So let's say we finally conquer the evil. Where do we go from there?
The evil is so simplistic too. Like me, I'm married. Like I shouldn't even be looking at other women or anything. But these day and age, where girls' breastises are hanging out,
When I hear that, I think of Indians. Like they didn't even. Did they know what evil was?
I'm pretty sure they had a concept of it.
They had a concept of it. Yeah.
Like they didn't cry when people died. Like they were happy that they were leaving. Like they left.
They did rituals, dog, so they can go to heaven.
But they were much more spiritual.
Was it heaven or was it?
Or to the other side. To they make it.
Yeah.
To where they were supposed to go. Like if you look at it. Sorry, Mike. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But it's like I was watching this documentary years ago, and it's like it's crazy because what people do now, like with a dying family member, you know, they go to the hospital and they're fucking there with them, and they're saying ancient people used to do the same thing, sit around the dying family member. So, number one, the family member doesn't go alone. Kind of like, okay, we're here with you, dude.
That's awesome, dude. That's how I want to go.
Until you meet, you know, the
have
door.
Have my cat, my Xbox.
There you go. Have my dog.
Me.
Have my fucking iPod bumping.
Dude, I mean,
yeah.
Maybe a little blunt.
I want to be on a podcast when I die, dude.
Definitely.
All right, guys, remember me as a.
Remember me like this.
Hey, bro, I don't know, but being Mexican, I mean, going to the hospital, that's like 20, 30 deep, bro. Shit. Bring the banda.
Nah, dog. We used to do it where they bury you in the backyard, homie. Put a fucking makeshift crop right there.
Therefore, you're there every day with them watching over. That's beautiful.
But you know, like going back from, okay, like excluding the hospital, but yeah, people used to get around their family members, so they kind of like have a better chance of making it to the other side.
Yeah, I like the concept of religion that like you feel like that person's going to a better place because I was talking to a dude at work and he's like, yo, like I'm getting older, like I'm starting to wonder about my grandparents are getting older too, and like that's all I've ever known. And you know, he's like not an atheist, but he's like agnostic like me. He doesn't really know what's the higher power, what's going on. But what he does is like he's like, how do I cope with that? You know, knowing that they're gonna leave, and I'm not really a heaven believer.
You gotta accept it.
Accept what?
It's
Accept
just
that
it's
they're
a,
gone.
it's a
Accept
part of
that
it's a part of life.
It's a part of nature. You know, you have a beginning and you have an end.
But when it happens, like there's chemicals that go off in our brain.
Yeah.
You can't just control
It's like,
it.
look, my dad, I love my fucking dad. I don't know he's gonna die. And I love my mom. I know she's gonna die. But
She's
We're all
listening.
gonna die.
She's
yeah,
listening. Don't
she-
say that.
Hey, mom, I fucking love you, and I hope you live a million
We're
years.
breathing just to die.
But exactly, we're breathing just to die. So for me, when that moment, it's inevitable. I'm kidding myself if I say, "Oh, she's never gonna die."
And that's
My
why
mom's never
birthdays
gonna
are
die.
accomplishments. That's why you have to celebrate
You
your
made
birthday.
it one more
because-
year, bro.
Exactly.
So look and I hate to think of it, and it's gonna be a real fucked up point when that happens.
But I don't know.
I know I'm gonna get to the point when that does happen in my grieving process, where it's like, if I want to get over this, I have to accept it.
Yeah.
Have to accept it.
I-
Life goes on.
I think my
But-
peacefulness would be like, because if you see somebody and they're in hurt, they're pain, you know, and you're just there and you see that they're older, you know, they require somebody else, you know, a caretaker.
I've had loved ones where I've seen that.
I've had the same, so it's very, very detrimental to your
Very.
mind, and it's
Yeah.
very hard. Alzheimer's disease, where
They-
they don't even know who you are.
That's sad.
It's pretty devastating sometimes. So when you do finally see that, hey, you know what? They took their last breath, you know, and you go in there, you know, the body, because in Mexico, a lot of people, you know, they'll die in their home or
Yeah.
little pueblos and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're there with the body and just making your last piece. But in your heart, you know what? They're not suffering anymore. You truly want to believe they're in a better place, whatever that may be to you and anybody, you know. And
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, isn't it better for us to tell our kids and our society that, you know, there is a
You're
better
gonna
place.
die.
No, there is a better. Like, talking about the coping part of it, because when my grandma passed away, dude, I was 11 years old,
Yeah.
and my mom, like the baby that she is, was fucking crying instead of comforting me. So
Yeah.
I didn't know how to cope.
Yeah.
My stepdad finally told me, "Your grandma's." Did he say passed away or died? Either way, I think died is the fucking worst thing you can say
Yeah,
to someone.
yeah.
Passing on to me is more of a comfort. It's
Yeah.
more of a, like, they're not gone. They're
Yeah.
passing to the next stage. So I'm trying to, like,
especially at 11.
I'm trying to cope.
Yeah, especially at 11.
I'm trying to get an understanding for, like, society. Is like, do we tell society like people are just dead? You know, like they're dead. That's it. Or do we say like, hey, they're going to a
It
better
depends
place?
if you're a Muslim or not.
Honestly, I think it's an option. You know, like if you want to sugarcoat it, you can sugarcoat it. But look, regardless of how you give the blow, you have to accept it.
Yeah, well, sugarcoating sounds fucked up. Like, you know,
Well, that's what it is.
You're,
You know what,
you're
bro?
That's what it
embellishing
is.
something that it isn't.
That's what it is.
It's in your mind though. It doesn't matter if
Look,
it's.
dude, you don't pass away, you die. You die. Okay, you pass over. We don't know if you pass.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if we're dead.
You
We don't know if
got
we're
an
dead.
F.
That we know one thing though.
The
That
body
when you,
might be dead, but the soul.
Okay, but look, okay, the soul, but physically, if I die tomorrow, you're not gonna see me.
I'll make you in a hologram, bro. Don't you?
Yeah, that'll be sick, dog.
Still
Make me-
rocking shows.
Make me with an afro, please, dog. No, but seriously, like, it's dead. The way you want to word it, it's an option. But when you come down to it, the actual thing that went down is death.
I think what happens, and this is just my
Passed
mind.
away.
I think
Passed away, death is
I
the
think
same
it,
thing.
it all
in my
just
opinion.
depends. I think death, the way you cope with death, is the way you respect life or not.
There you go.
I think that's crucial.
There you go.
An example I'll give you that popped into my mind was when I was young and I was visiting my cousin, and we're hanging out with his friends, and we're like 8, 9, 10. I don't know, we're pretty young. And we're around there, and there's a bunch of snails. And I remember one kid was just going and like stepping on them, and I got really pissed. I got really mad. I went and I pushed him. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, what is that snail doing to you? I was like, what is he
Nothing, dog.
doing? He's just living his life. Are there to get like salt and pour it? And I was always that kid, like, dude, don't tear that flower off. It's alive. Like, dude. And that might sound stupid to some
No,
people, but to me, it was my respect for the little ants, for this. Even
know,
to
it's-
this day, when they're like, oh, kill the spider. I'm like, dude, it's killing other bugs. Like, don't worry about that little minuscule thing. You know,
What
just let it be.
There's fuck. I think it was a beetle. I forgot what it was, but
I mean, I could understand cockroaches and rats. No, I'm just kidding.
check this out. Check this out,
pest of
dog.
society.
Like even little things like that. Like I'll accidentally step on a snail. I feel bad. I feel fucking bad.
But that's what I'm trying to get at with death and life. That I feel like it's truly, if you're going around and just being destructive, then you really don't care if there is
Yeah,
a passing
yeah,
on
yeah.
or another thing. But if you truly have a respect for life, I think it's all a mental state of mind. I mean, if we die right now, who's to say that our mind or our soul or our spirit doesn't continue on, doesn't
yeah.
flow out, or
But one
or
thing,
like that movie with Denzel Washington where he flows and gets the next human or
but
next living thing.
one thing is for certain though that we know, and this is the only thing that we can speculate on because we know it's fact. You're
There's
not
a
here.
light.
You're not here. you're gone. You're somewhere
Well,
else. Whether
well,
you transition or
wait.
you're a ghost.
We might be here invisible.
Okay.
Wait, but I
one
could be on video still. I could be on audio still. I mean, my boy that
Okay,
committed suicide, I listen to our podcast all the time, and I feel like he's still here. But I get what you're saying.
his
The
message is
physical
here.
being.
We're just fucking with you.
I can't talk to him right now.
Yeah.
I got
Like my grandpa that died, my grandmother, I can't talk to them.
got to get the Ouija board.
I can communicate with them through meditation. I can the same way I talk to God. Who's God? I don't have no fucking clue who God is, but I know it exists.
Well, the thing is nowadays, like when I hear people speak about God, I'll be like, well, what's your definition of God? What's your definition of the? And a lot of people get, maybe uncomfortable with my questioning because they feel like I don't know, they might be taking like, oh, I think they're dumb or stupid. And I really don't. It's just I want you to break it down to my understanding because
What is God?
God, to me, I mean, damn, it could be so many different. God could be money to some people. Who knows? You know, God could be sex.
Illuminati.
I mean, that's how powerful these things are, you
That
know?
new book is the Illuminati's got testaments. Atheism they have their own book now. They have testaments of how to live. You know, treat people the way you want to be treated,
Yeah.
peacefully.
But you know what's funny? That all derived from a fucking holy scripture.
It's a blueprint.
It is a blueprint.
It all derived from that one thing, though, that exists. Look, atheism.
Why do you point in the sky when you said that?
I have no fucking clue.
Because the heavens are above
I don't
us.
know. I point to the sky a lot, man. It's probably fucking alien. I don't even know it. So
What are you, Cepta?
I'm a Pleiadian. I'm from the star system Pleiades. My real name is Gargon.
I'm Gargoyle.
Gargon, okay? Power to the fierce.
That's too funny.
Nah, but you know, like yeah, man. I just
Life is good, man.
Life is a beautiful thing.
What is
and
life?
Life is living. Life is breathing. Life is drinking water when you're fucking thirsty and feeling that quench. Life is experience right now. This is life. I'm experiencing you. I experienced a guy from another radio show that called in. I experienced him. I didn't see him. I didn't see his face. I experienced him. That's
Isn't that so crazy though, that like people are in different states, cities, countries, whatever, and they're on the same type of thing that we're doing. So we're on the right track. I feel you know.
You know what I think life is? It's an event, dog.
Dang.
It's a fucking event. So it's an event. You can make your event pop off, or you can make your event be bullshit. What do you want?
Dang.
And you know what? Like, hey, dog, if your event is popping off and it's made of bullshit, fuck it. It's your life. That's
You know,
cool. I'm the one to say that that's wrong.
See, but the event thing reminds me of like Lil Wayne when he's like, "This is my theme park" or something like that.
Think
you know?
of it is your theme park. What do you do with that bitch?
But it is your world, and I mean, I know it sounds narcissistic and stuff.
It sounds narcissistic
Damn, selfish.
and not to cut you off. I got told by a book I was reading because I'm like, oh yeah, like it's called The Prophet by Al Mustafa. And fucking it basically was like, I've never left you. Like I was always with you, inside you. Like talking about God. And I was talking to this girl, and she's like, "Dude, that sounds like Satan. What'd she say? Sounds satanic." And I'm like, "How the fuck do you get the fucking notion of it being satanic?" She's like, "Because Satanists, they believe that they're their own God." I'm like, "Yeah, but he didn't say that. Oh, you're your own God." It's like, I'm a part of you. Like my mass of what I am, whether if I'm a ball of energy, whatever the fuck I am, you have a piece of me.
But that just goes to show her mindset.
It's I don't want to say limited, but it revolves around a program.
And you just said right there, I don't want to say it's limited, but some people like they see that like, no, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. I'm right.
Yeah,
and,
you limit yourself right there.
But the thing is, like, some people like I always think it's more complex, and I think I brought this up last night too. I was like, dude, it's just everything's way too complex to really comprehend because all of us grew up a different way. There's no doubt about that, you know. So we're all gonna see life a different way. You know what I mean?
But yeah. I feel once not to make.
But we could come to agreements.
Because look, I mean, okay. In a spectrum like of light, there's different forms of light. There's dark light, shadowed light, bright light, LED lights. There's all these kinds of light. That's complex. But there's light. There's light.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to choose an LED light, a fucking strobe light, whatever the fuck you want, that's on you. But the very fact that there's light is so simple, dog. And the fact that we go and we fucking choose LED strobe lights, using this example again, goes to show how, number one, in my opinion, how evolved as a species we are to get that complicated on something that is
So simple.
Simple.
Yeah, so simple.
You know, and number two, it goes to show that it exists.
And it goes to show that complicated stuff can be understood and it
Oh,
can
yeah.
be simplified. My thing is that most people don't have the patience,
There you go.
nor they have the will, because we live in a narcissistic
yeah,
society
which
where
goes
it's
to
me,
the
me,
time.
me,
Yeah,
me, me.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with that.
I don't.
Yeah,
Let's hear your rebuttal, my friend.
Well, it's not so much a rebuttal, but it's kind of like, you know, Mike always said generalizing. You know, that's what we're doing. We can't go up to how many people in America? 280 million?
336 million.
Something like that. We can't go up to each one of them, have a survey and say, does this make you feel this way? Are you selfish? Do you take selfies? Because everyone's not like that, especially older people. I talk to a lot of older people,
Okay.
dude, and they're awesome
But
because
what-
they go back and they teach me about
What if we were to rephrase the question and be like, how many of you use internet? How many of you use technology?
Okay.
Because selfies and all this shit exists because of internet, because of technology.
But then again, any survey has never included all of America. It's impossible.
Right.
Yeah,
Number one.
yeah.
So it's
Number two,
impossible to say that everyone in society is one way.
Look, I feel we all are of the same cloth and of the
unless
same
you're
mold.
North Korea. No.
Wait a second, we got a call. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Like, okay, like
Should I pull it out?
yes, let's
do
go
it.
for it.
All
It
right.
might be Seth Rogen. But
No, but it's just it's beautiful, man. I
We
just
got a
thirst
call.
for knowledge. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
is everyone so fucking stupid?
because I went to school in the United States.
Someone said that too before. You're like the second one to say that to Kim Jong Un.
Why aren't more people intelligent? Right?
Have you guys seen the interview?
No, I haven't. I don't want
I watched some of it.
It's a good fucking movie.
Is it?
I liked it a lot. It was
And
funny.
that's funny because he talks so much shit on Seth Rogen.
And I hate he wasn't funny at all. He made me laugh once, but the other dude was fucking hilarious.
He does hate on Seth.
Well, Seth is an overrated comedian who doesn't at all make me laugh. I mean, make me laugh. If you're a comedian, you would make me laugh. Joe Rogan, when I first heard his stand up, I was like, I'm not gonna pay attention to this guy.
You're aware of the Jewish control in Hollywood, right?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's
bad.
probably why
they
he's in place.
control a lot of shit.
And that's what pisses me off. Is like he is nothing like a Jim Carrey or Martin Lawrence. Like he doesn't have what it takes to make
Those
me
comedians
constantly.
are gone, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Those
Look,
comedians-
And I feel bad for the next
look at-
generation.
Now
Look
it's
at-
like the Kevin Hart and
yeah, he's
no,
not.
these are people without substance.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, you know what? Like people are like, oh, Mike's sounding like a hater. I'm just saying, like from what I consider comedy and like in living color type stuff and really improvise like the Jim Carreys, like it's really rare to see.
I'm not a
that
hard
these
dude to
days.
make laugh. If you're funny, I'm gonna laugh. Like I just said about Joe Rogan, I had a stereotypical thing because of his show. I was like, he's not funny. He's just a dude that's a host. I saw stand up and I fucking was laughing. When I first started listening to it, I was like, with
Joe Rogan
anger
did-
in my face, I was like, this guy's not. And then he started making me laugh. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, that's a fucking
Joe
comedian,
Rogan
dude.
did this special on Spike TV like way back. It was
Yeah.
like, to me, it was whack.
Really?
People were just like, oh hey, I thought it was whack.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah.
And you showed me a few of his political satire material, and I was like, "Oh shit, this guy is fucking funny, dog."
Yeah.
You know, and it just, and not only did it, I love fucking comedic satire, man.
Not,
Political satire.
not George Lopez.
Oh no, because it's not comedical satire. Yeah, you could stereotypically, joke about how the races are. Okay, that's cool. That's the way we are. All right, cool.
That's kind of
You know?
fucked up. Yeah, he
But,
kind
but,
of stereotyped.
but at
us.
least with this guy, with Joe Rogan, he's like the song we made. He's like, look, I think everybody that invented shit's gonna fucking die. They're gonna leave us with a bunch of shit we have no fucking clue about. What are you gonna fucking do? And it's funny because it's like, great, the fucking electricity's out, fucking morons. And it's like the moron calling a fucking moron.
It's so true, though. I don't know how to rebuild this phone. I'm learning about computers, but I don't know the half of this shit,
This is the
dude.
generation we live in, though.
Yeah.
And it just went from a generation of builders and creators to a generation of consumers.
You know, it's so crazy you say that because I read an article saying that like the millennials are, because things are constructed a lot better, they last longer, but they're like, yeah, if this something were to break, they just go and throw it away and buy a new one. They replace it.
Yeah.
So they're saying that like in the future, like all the plumbers, all the mechanics, like these people are going to be the people making lots of money because when they're older, they're not going to know how to do any of this shit. And they're so used to paying for services anyways that they're going to go ahead and be able to pay somebody else to do
I
it.
remember going to the fucking tire place going, hey, can you change my tire? Because I don't know how to do it. And paying to do like $50 to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was 50, but it was up there. And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm thinking back going, fuck, like, how incompetent was
First time I got my flat, it happened on the freeway, and I was just like, fuck, how do I fucking do
Hey,
this shit?
But nowadays the millennials have it easy too. Like they just go to YouTube or they just go Google. Like we didn't have that,
No,
bro.
fuck
That's
no,
awesome.
no.
Like,
But
we
people have to have the fucking mind to actually want to learn and like, if I need to fix this, I'm gonna go on YouTube and actually push the button
Yeah.
and type
Yeah.
in this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's so funny
I
that
agree.
you say that because my wife all the time is asking me questions. I'm like, Google it, and I hate that response. But I'm like trying to force her or even tell. And the other day, Mom was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I went on YouTube and they have all kinds of." I was like, "Yeah, Mom, like, they have everything." I'm all think about it. Everybody wants to be a superstar. Everybody wants to be in a video, and now everybody can, and they're taking the time to do something
find
to
out how.
teach you.
Yeah.
I was like, take advantage of it. You know, I go visit my cousin Eric, and he's watching stuff on this guy making computers and building them and doing networks and all that. And I was just like, man, it's so awesome. He's right there working, but you can still hear it and see it. You know, the internet is awesome, and that's why they're trying to
beautiful.
regulate it.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's why yeah, exactly, because
They're seeing that interview movie that
That
they
was a
hacked
cause
into
of
it.
it.
well, see,
Yeah.
dude, no, look.
That was an
on to
inside job, right?
Yes, in my
Right?
opinion,
Right.
dude. Why
was
the
propaganda,
Why the
right?
fuck would you go after a movie studio? I'd rather go after your weapons, bro.
Dude.
I fucking hate you. I hate your country. You damn right I'm gonna try to hack into your nukes, dog.
But that just goes
Yes.
to show how it's just all a gimmick.
But see, it's funny because right after that precedent was set, you know, with North Korea tapped into these fucking internet these accounts, so we need net neutrality, or we need to get rid of net neutrality. We need to regulate the net because what if it's a nuke next time?
And what about the race wars in America?
Oh shit!
there-
Yeah,
There's
we
ra-
didn't even touch on that.
Well, that's why now that you say that, I'm just like, yo, what about these because at the same time, you know, the media, and I touched on this before, with when Ferguson was popping off, you know, they're showing all the riots and all the craziness. But
would
then,
you have marched for Michael Brown, Cepta? You would have. A man that was robbing a liquor store, rushing a police officer, and was pretty violent.
Violent in what way?
Robbing
What
a
did
liquor
he-
store,
what
pushing
did
a
he-
cashier.
What did he do to the police though?
He
Besides them not knowing what they had.
allegedly?
Well, I watched.
What did he do?
I watched the interview. He, I don't know if it's true or not, but he was reaching for his weapon inside the car.
How many people have reached for weapons and had nothing?
No, I'm saying the Michael Brown was reaching in the police car trying
Did
to
they
take.
find a weapon? Is there any report out there that they found a concealed weapon?
No,
on him?
you're misinterpreting.
No, he was.
No,
tr-
no,
he was
I'm-
trying to.
I'm
no,
asking.
They
I'm
never
asking.
did. No,
Oh, on Michael Brown?
Yes.
No,
no weapon.
he didn't have nothing on
Okay,
him.
so
Is that permissible though to reach into an officer's weapon and try to take it out of his holster? Well,
if he's trying to take it, dude, then yeah, you have.
you got to
every
do what
right-
you got to do.
Okay, that's true, but see, this is we talk about. I've heard the term slippery slope for a lot less slippery slopes. This is a slippery slope because, okay, there's nothing to prove that the officer was in danger. There's nothing to prove that he wasn't in danger.
Right.
So how the fuck do you know?
That's why they need to wear cameras, and that's why they need to wear
even,
audio.
Even there's been people that have gotten caught on cameras. Policemen.
Right.
Kelly
There's
Thomas.
nothing that happened.
and
Kelly
Kelly Thomas
Thomas
is a prime example of a man who
Let's
was
go to
murdered
another,
on tape.
let's go to another one. I seen this on Facebook yesterday. Eyes open. Yes. Hey, how you doing? Sent me the video. Well, didn't send it. It was on his page. But I seen it before, and it was a woman being sexually assaulted by a cop in front of a judge, in front of her kid,
And she confronted him.
and she confronted
I've
him.
seen that.
And you know what happened? The law went against her. So something's wrong here. And when you see things like that and you experience things like that, you can't blame people for having the perspective on cops the same way that maybe the way the cops view the ghetto people.
Yes.
You know, so something needs to be reached here, like a dialogue. Otherwise, you're
It's
always
simple.
going
Cameras and audio. You have to be able to document everything that's going on if you're a law official.
Here's
Because
the thing. Here's what I want.
Well-
I want you to fucking prosecute a cop that needs to be prosecuted. I'm not talking about the Albuquerque. If you're gonna do the fucking Albuquerque, do them all. Get these motherfuckers. Make examples out of them. So if there's a fucking rogue cop out there, a rogue chief, whoever the fuck you are, oh fuck. There's a litany of things that will get done to my career if I am rogue or go against, you know, the oath that you take as an officer. Because look, if I take 200, even if I take fucking $10 for my job, I'll get fired.
right, but why march with Michael Brown for if the man? We don't know all of the facts. We weren't there. And what we do know on camera was the man was stealing and assaulting a man who was trying to tell him to stop stealing from my store. Now, if it was Eric Garner, a man who was clearly choked on video, officer had his
Murdered,
arm
bro.
around his neck, clearly doing a technique you were not allowed to do, I would march for that. But Michael Brown, I mean, these people were amping up a crowd to incite them to do riots.
But see, we can't say that.
We can because
no,
Michael
we
Brown
can't.
is on. His father is on tape telling everyone
Burn this bitch down.
Yeah,
Okay, but okay. Okay, I didn't see that.
got
Okay,
you.
got me.
Checkmate.
Okay, cool. Checkmate. You can have all the checkmates you want.
Checkmate.
I'm
Hey,
not.
one
I'm
thing
not-
in your defense though that I'm gonna say is that it was shown that jurors that were in that little secret meeting were lying about the incidents that happened just to trying to get to indict. I think they should have indicted him. They should have taken a trial. There's nothing to hide. Fuck it. Let's go
There
to
you
trial.
go. Thank you.
Let's
dog.
go.
Thank
Nothing.
you.
I'm
Thank
good.
you.
Should have been a
Let's
trial.
go.
There
There should have been a trial.
Thank you.
I
So-
agree with you.
so the
I'm not defending Michael Brown, but I'm all saying
Okay.
is that there should have been a
I'm
trial.
not-
I agree with
and
that.
I'm not defending the cop
I'm
either.
not.
I'm just saying.
I'm not defending Michael
Yeah.
Brown. I would have marched with him though. I wouldn't have known the first facts.
I think-
I would have went up to the cops like I did when we fucking marched right there on fucking Anaheim City Hall that same fucking day when I went down
I think
there.
what the Michael Brown thing was that it's happened so often, kind of like the NWA thing, where the people are just like, man, we're fucking tired. Because look at what it sparked. It
Look.
sparked across America.
Look.
No, but it sparked across
How many-
America because of 6 corporations that can push that
No, wait,
information.
hold on.
No, but what I'm
hold on,
saying
guys.
is against the cops, though, like in Berkeley, like you had people actually taken to the streets against the police. Like when had we seen this in our lifetime?
How many black people have been victims of this? How many?
That's what I'm saying.
How many white people have been? And then this isn't a okay. It is a race issue, but I'm not trying
Well, it's
to be
a
a
race
racist.
wars. It's a race
It
wars.
is a race
dude.
war.
And the media is
I have
pumping
to-
it.
But how many people have been affected that were of color being wrongfully shot?
Plenty.
And
Plenty.
Let's go to the guy that had
It's so complicated,
a lifelock pendant. I forgot his name. Fuck, I
Dude,
wish I remembered.
black males are 23
What?
times more likely to get shot than a
White
white man.
Plains, New York, dog. White Plains, New York. Maybe 2010, 2009, around there. I forgot his fucking name, man.
Does this
God
give
damn.
an excuse for us not to like stop someone that's bad that's black? You know, it's so deep, it's so complicated because police have a job to do. African Americans do have criminals, just like Hispanics, just like Caucasians. It's unfortunate that African Americans live in a more poor society or poor location where they are constantly just like Hispanics, we're constantly squeezed together. So
We were made to be that way, dude.
and that's the bigger picture is what you're
We
trying
were
to
made
say.
to be that way.
But when you look at the whole race issue, you're trying to say that white on whites. Look, dude, like you can look at the stats. I think Bill O'Reilly pulled them up, which how credible is Bill O'Reilly. But he was saying that whites are killed by whites just as much as blacks kill
but
blacks.
that's not my point. My point is how many people of color have been victims of police brutality. That's my point.
I don't know. What are the numbers?
It's a lot. So look it up.
What
I
are-
know it's
what
over
are-
6 fucking cases in the last fucking 6 months,
Right.
at least.
Dude, the 12-year-old in Cleveland,
Come
Tamir
on, dude.
Rice.
But I'm trying to tell you, Cepta, that do you think marching for a man who probably was guilty, just because he's black and because of other cases? Let me finish real quick. Can I? You're telling me that like you don't see the trickery of the media that's constantly telling us black and white. Oh, a white man killed a black man today. They're pushing an agenda, bro, to separate us. We're not going to come together that way.
They've been pushing the same agenda. Look,
But we can't be blind to that.
I would have went to March. Okay, yeah, I'm flip-flopping. I don't give a fuck, dog. Call me whatever you want, dog. I know I'm not right. That's my fucking number
I
one
think you
premise.
would have been marching because of the
I would have asked
of the
questions.
abuse.
I
Because
would
of the
have asked
abuse.
questions because
But why
of
are
how
you
it
wrong?
looked.
Because I think your heart's in the right place.
No,
I think what you're
look,
marching for might be wrong.
I'm wrong. No, even at that point, I don't think it would have been wrong because I would have went for answers.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I
but you should
would've
have known the
talked.
answers before you start
No,
marching.
how are you going to know the answers before you march, dog?
Hey,
When I
but-
went down there to Manuel Diaz, I had enough information to go and march, but when I went there was
Wait,
waves of new
You're
information.
pulling
that
something
I,
now. I'm starting to go side with you because they held on to the information to Michael Brown's case
Over
and
a month,
Yeah,
yeah.
and people want to know what the fuck was going on, and they're basically covering for this police officer and getting their fucking shit right so that they can go into the court.
That's
and
a beautiful point. You know, like
Exactly.
how do you expect people to act if you're withholding information?
How is that fair?
checkmate.
And not only that is also when you have the main prosecute, like what they should have done was been like, you know what, we don't know yet, but the guy didn't have the balls, and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna have a secret jury take care of it, and blah blah blah. They
It's
should
like
have
all
never.
this- yeah.
They should have never done that. It just made it look more like a cover up.
And going back to the agenda of separation, maybe that was it. You know, maybe
That's what pisses me off because I don't look at people with color. I don't judge people by color. With color, I don't judge anybody by color. I judge them by their character, dude. I have friends of all races, but I don't pay attention to that. Like, are they cool peeps? Are they listening to me? Am I listening to them? Like, do we have a mutual understanding for each other?
But I think when like there's an overwhelming number of a certain race, just like with Muslims,
Yeah.
there's something.
Well,
there.
dude, I mean, that's why I was looking into this whole documentary of slavery and the making of America, because again, over half of the time has been spent in slavery. And who were the slaves? Blacks.
Right.
Come on.
But
they weren't able to read.
If
They
I
weren't
could add
able to,
something like, a lot of it.
consider 3/5 of a man. Like, this is
And that's
crazy.
all understandable.
Jim Crow.
That's all understandable why to march for blacks.
And
to
this
say,
is in the South, too.
But what bothers me is that there's African Americans who feel like they're entitled. It's like,
I feel you on that too. I feel you on
you're
that
stopping
too.
me because I'm black.
Because
It's
I'm black.
Kanye
like,
West.
Yeah.
fuck that guy. But I'm trying to make a point. Like, it's not always what it seems to be. Like, dude, Michael Brown, I'm not gonna favor that guy because what I'm seeing on that video shows me exactly his behavior. Yeah, a lot of black dudes are suppressed, man. Like, they're fucking living hardcore. Dude, I'm living hardcore right now, bro. Like, we're barely making it. I've been homeless. I've done all that shit. But you have to come and pull up like a man and try to survive, dude, in a right way. I know there's dudes out there that got way more money than us. There's motherfuckers that are spoiled. I've seen kids that are fucking filthy. You know what we have to do though? We have to be patient and continue to roll,
Look,
dude.
with Michael Brown, I can speculate all I want. I could speculate and say, oh, this is right, this is wrong. I would have done this, I would have done that.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, what the fuck can I say? I wasn't there.
Exactly.
Even if I seen the video, dog,
Still
I
doesn't.
wasn't there, dog. I didn't get to experience it. See, when Manuel Diaz got shot, I wasn't there, but that was my community. I've dealt with Anaheim PD.
And they had just killed somebody like
And
a
they
week
had just
prior.
killed somebody a few days prior to that.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I
was
gotta
like
say
within a
something
week.
because I actually deal with Anaheim PD all the time where I work at, and I'm not too friendly with most of them. I interact now and again, and I can't say that I see them as bad people. I've seen a couple of their procedures, and I thought they were a little bit pushy towards the person who was drunk, but. These guys are trained a certain way. We talked about this before to deal with crazy people, and you always said, why apply for a job if you're going to be angry and have a bad temper?
Yeah.
And to me, I don't think that's understandable because, to me, I don't understand that because you're putting your life on the line daily to protect people you don't even know. And to me, you have to be on your guard. You have to be back against the wall when it comes to fucking people because you don't know what the fuck they have. And we talk about dude over in the mountains who had a knife and shit. Yo, you can still get shanked, bro, if you're 5 feet away, 10 feet away.
A leap is pretty quick, man.
You can throw that motherfucker. So when I always hear you say that, it always bugged me because I worked around a lot of this almost similar situations. And I know you've grown from that day. I'm not saying even I'm fucking like not as grown as I think I am. But what I do want to say is like I kind of have that experience where I can back it up and say, it's a tough gig, dude. And people got problems at home. Your fucking dog's dying. Your wife's got cancer. All that shit builds up,
It's
bro.
just like if I'm a judge. Why the fuck am I going to bring my life into my profession? Especially what if I'm a social worker? What if I'm a fucking teacher and I'm having there's no fucking excuse. Okay,
I think that's for any job, though. Like, in all reality.
Okay, teacher comes back with their life. Okay, reckon that. But it's just like when you go to the armed forces. You're not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to shoot. You're going for combat.
It sounds like too unrealistic, though. We're humans, bro.
Okay, that is true. But how many cops have pulled off without shooting somebody and fucking disarmed them or did it professionally?
I think it goes back to the whole training. I mean, it really does.
See, those cops, commendable.
Yeah.
It takes intelligence instead of brute fucking force.
Again,
no,
you know what it goes on? It goes
No
into the
brute
love. It goes into the empathy. They don't see the value in these humans as they do. And I know that's generalizing, but I think that's what happens a lot of times is that, dude, most of the police in America are what? They're mostly white. I mean,
is that a fact?
It is a fact.
Can I give an example though about the tension?
But let me just say something. And I'm not saying that that's bad in any way. All I'm saying is, do these white people really connect with those people on Anna Drive?
Yeah.
With their traditions, their culture,
right?
The way they live, their language.
Or a dude who can't pay for his tags. He's trying to go to his job. I get it. I got to bring up a quick example really quick because I've been trying to hold this shit off. The dogs of the police, the police dogs, when they take them out, like say to the riots, whatever the fuck, and those dogs don't bite or attack, they got to take those fucking dogs somewhere to go bite. They have to put the thing on and the dog has to bite because the fucking dog is trained to attack. The same thing with police. And I know that's an animal and we're humans, but those motherfuckers are trained to make sure that they're fucking going home at the end of the day and they're not in the casket, dude.
Okay, then how about this, dog? If I'm a fucking G and if I'm a G or if I'm anyone with a gun and you're coming to my door and you want to come in, I have every right to fucking shoot you in the head. and not be prosecuted. Not be prosecuted by a fucking jury that's going to just.
There's actually certain laws.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
real
look it
quick,
up.
real quick.
What do you mean, like a gangster coming into
yeah,
house?
if I'm a fucking if I'm a G,
You're a G,
if
okay.
I'm a G, dog, and the cop, because you just said, oh well, cop's got to be on top of his game, you know, if he's.
Why would he be coming into your house though?
No.
Because cops are not supposed to without a warrant.
Dude, they have.
They still do.
They have.
And they should be killed. No, I'm just kidding.
I
didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
No.
Wait, hold on.
No,
if someone's getting raped in their house,
I agree with that. If
Okay.
you walk into my fucking house, dog, I have every fucking right to
Right.
shoot you.
If-
Even if you're a cop, dog, it does not fucking
How
matter
about
because
this?
you're intruding in my
How
house.
about
Let's say
this?
I have a
How about
warrant.
if you go on a Facebook post and say that you're gonna do something to a cop or something should happen, and now you're getting arrested? I mean, look at what happened in the Bronx. Look at what happened in Brooklyn. I mean, the freedom of speech. I mean, these guys like saying, "I'm gonna put pigs in a blanket," you know, and I don't even know if that's real either.
I think the
you know?
reason why that happens though is because so much shit has popped off from someone saying, "Hey,
But they
let's
killed
do
the
this and that."
Hispanic. But they killed the Hispanic guy and an Asian guy. And I'm not trying to say that the race war should be white and black. But it's like you would think that like, okay, well, it was white cops and they're going and killing a Latino and an Asian guy. Not that it makes it any better. All I'm just trying to say though is that. Was that even real, or is this all staged to like limit our freedom of speech? So
Hey,
now,
it could-
so,
it
so
could,
now
yeah.
an agenda. So now, if you're a rapper in San Diego,
rapper Tiny
know,
Do. I was just about to
you
say
know,
that.
if
shit.
you're a rapper,
What do you think about rapper Tiny Do?
I don't know who that is.
You never heard of rapper Tiny Do, yo?
oh man,
Neither have I. But apparently, rapper Tiny Do, he is basically going to trial because of his rap album that the police have got a hold of. And it ties him in with a gang that's profiting off of his album. And apparently the lyrics, he's never had a gang record, but a statute that was voted in 2000 allows prosecution to convict gang members that benefit from crimes committed by other gang members. So Tiny Do has no criminal record. They're holding Tiny Do for conspiracy.
Bullshit.
Really?
he's facing life, dude.
That's bullshit. You know why I think it's bullshit?
But it's happening in the year
Oh
2000.
no! Not that
Yeah.
that what's going on is
Yeah.
bullshit, but the charges,
The whole premise.
is bullshit.
No
the
premise.
premise of that
Yeah.
is bullshit
No
because
ground.
think about it, it's dangerous because let's say I drop an album that is completely anti-government.
Yeah.
Or
I have.
that is, or that is anti
think you have too.
Israeli state.
Yeah.
That's what I was
And-
trying to bring up.
And,
Is like,
and,
they're,
and
what
they
are they
deem
going to
it,
do?
they deem it as a threat against Israel, or they view it as something like that. That sets the precedent for them to be like, oh well, I think you're gonna cause an act of terrorism based on your music
That's
and
where they're
based on
going.
what you're saying. And you know what
That's
that
where they're
is?
going.
That's Orwellian. That's of George Orwell. That's 1984 shit.
Yeah.
So once you read that book and you tie in everything what is fictionally said in that book, which was written in 1952, and you look at it now, a lot of the things that went down in that book are happening now.
I gotta read
So
that shit.
it sets a really hellish precedent that, okay, you know what, based on what you say and based on this and that, even though there's no evidence to suggest that you're going to do that, but there, in my head, is evidence to suggest that you are of this or that you have intentions.
It's what George W. Bush did. It's preemptively
Okay.
charging you.
Let me
Yes.
say this though.
Have you seen the born identity
Supremacy
or
or-
something like that,
yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
know what
Where
you're
they
gonna
do-
commit
yeah.
a crime before you
and
do
they
it?
take you. Yep.
Movies tell you the
That's
truth,
where we're
dog.
going.
That's
Yeah.
where we're going, bro.
Well, let me ask you this: if let's say he doesn't have a record though, but if he did have association with the gang and was documented
Look,
by
dog,
policemen,
if-
let me finish real quick. He was documented by police. He in fact was affiliated with these gangs because he's rapping about them and he's saying, "Well, I'm from this gang," and they have been known to kill innocent people.
But did he?
Good question.
But what about
he's-
Game and Lil Wayne claiming their Bloods and
There you
shit
go.
like that? I mean, the Bloods are one of the biggest black gangs in America.
And I say put them in prison and chop their fucking
But
heads
did
off.
they?
Huh?
But did they? Are they facing life terms or not?
No.
No. So why are you going after this guy who killed innocent people or affiliates?
Because he
with a
might
gang?
have information and he
Okay,
doesn't want to
but-
let it out.
I would have to see the evidence against him and what they're claiming, and if
Look,
they,
dude,
Look it up.
you know what I'm
we're,
saying?
we're in America, right?
Tiny
Supposedly America, like, you know, hey, fucking America's the best. Look, it's beyond me how you can be prosecuted without evidence.
But it happens all the time.
Exactly.
It's our word against yours. It
But
goes
see,
back.
that just
but
at
this
what-
goes back to the times of slavery, and I keep bringing this up because you're having a person who was a slave trying to fight for themselves against a free white man. How do you win when you're at a disadvantage?
I think it goes deeper than the white man, though, dog.
Yo, what
Oh,
up, this tiny dude right
and I'm
here?
just
But
using
it's
that
of
as
the-
an
it's of the-
example
yeah, it's of
because
the
it
same-
did happen
yeah,
because
it's
it
of-
was
it's of the
slavery.
same. It's in the same.
How are we
arena
doing
and
on
shit.
time? Exactly.
What are you guys talking about?
How we doing on time right here?
20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
What else
Yeah,
is-
man. But I think we gotta switch up the cup.
Abortion.
Yeah, I think we got. I think. Ooh, shit.
You hated on Ron Paul for saying that abortion's wrong, and I think that you had some merit there because who are we to tell people to do what the fuck they want to do with their bodies? However, a body inside of a body is not your body.
Yeah, but see, when you consume an embryo and you talk about fucking trying to preserve the life of an embryo, it's kind of contradictory. So if you want to talk about fetuses being people, don't eat eggs. I know it's an animal; it's a living thing. You're eating a fucking fetus.
Yep.
But it's an animal.
It is an animal. But does that give us the right to?
A woman's right to choose is a woman's right to choose.
You know, one thing I want to bring up really quickly is on our show with Nick, how we were talking about the abortion thing, and he's like, yeah, it's life. He's like, why is it that on Mars or some other planet we find a little single cell organism? Like, oh, there's life.
There's
on
life
this,
on
this
there. It's a
planet.
fucking germ.
And you know
oh my
what?
god.
When he brought that up, I was like, wow, you make a really good, valid point right there with that. You
But
know,
we don't
because-
honor it and be like, yo, we need to protect it. We're just like, hey, we saw something.
Well,
out there.
the thing is, I mean, there's circumstances again, like where there was a law where, like, if you were raped, like that guy that raped you was forced to like marry, like that's pretty fucking emotionally draining. Like that is crazy.
Also, like people that have a child and they can't afford it, who's gonna take care of these kids?
Taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And another thing,
Where are they gonna go?
Another thing I want to bring up is that I was reading an article. I'll bring it up. They were saying that more men are raped in America than
I just saw
women.
that.
Did you
I
see
saw
too?
that in prisons, right?
Yeah, in prisons.
Yeah.
And you know what I heard? They're saying that 1 out of 3 men on college campuses said they would rape a woman if they can get away with it.
What about the military?
Oh, the military.
That's another one.
Dude.
It's dirty.
There was a Navy.
So look, so the fact that there's like an epidemic of rape out there, how can we
Legalize
have,
prostitution.
How can we have the dialogue, or not the dialogue, but how can we have an argument where it's like, yo, fucking women shouldn't be able to abort? Especially when a dude that drafted up the legislation has no fucking idea of what it's like, number one.
Yeah.
He's going off of a religious basis, number two, which is fucking, how outdated is it? We're living in the 21st century. We're not in the 11th century anymore. Things change, bro. A woman's right to choose is a woman's right to choose. You being a man, me being a man, Mike being a man, politician being a man, even if it's a fucking woman, have no fucking right to make that decision for that female. If that female wants to abort, that's her fucking right. You hate on it, that's cool. That's your right to hate on it. But you should not have a law that forces you to...
Should they be prosecuted?
Fuck no. No, fuck no.
But
And I'm just asking these questions because that's what comes into my mind. Like, okay, well, we're talking because technically it's kind of like killing something.
you just said you don't know what it's like, but when you're the doctor that has to perform this abortion, you don't know what that's like.
Hey, bro, you have a fucking... I don't want to do it. It's against my religious morality. I don't want to do it.
I'm saying, but sitting in that room, pretend you're in that room.
Doesn't matter.
What do you think? What do you think it'd be like? It'd be horrible.
It wouldn't matter to me, though.
Why wouldn't it matter?
It wouldn't matter to me because I have the freedom to be like, I'm not going to treat you. You can go to a doctor that's willing to abort you. That's cool. Me, I believe that if I fucking heard a fucking... It's another life. Just against me, I'm not going to do it.
Right. But I'm saying the whole idea of it happening, the action of someone destroying a baby, that doesn't touch you at all?
Hey, you know what touches me more, dog? The fact that we fucking send bombs over fucking seas and bomb
Innocent kids.
indiscriminately.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit here and have an argument about a fucking fetus inside of a woman and a right to
Isn't
choose.
it so crazy though, that this is all
That's
because
fucking crazy.
that all this rape and all this abortion, it all comes down to sex. Because that's pretty much what it is. It's coming down to sex. So I feel that in our life in America, we've been lied to and we've been suppressed with this whole sex thing. Because I feel like, I mean, in Europe, you could be walking down in Paris and France and like see like. I mean, it's not. Yeah, well, in Austria, you know, it's
Amsterdam.
yeah, it's legal and stuff. But the point I'm trying to say is like, there's a boob, and every restaurant or restroom you go to, there's like a condom dispenser.
Dude, they fuck like crazy in public.
But what I'm saying is that like, why is it so like sex is like a bad thing over here? Yet everything on TV is filth. It's sex.
Damn.
All the music is filth. It's sex. So it's like they're engineering you to want sex, to want something that is. And then they're wondering why everybody's getting fucking raped or this or that. But it's like, dude, your whole...
I always use what you say about Africa, how we are conditioned because in Africa, they like women who wrap rings around their neck and stretch their fucking necks. And once you told me that and I saw it, I was like, fuck.
Here's another thing,
I've
dude.
been duped, dude.
Like women that like, oh, don't fucking look at me. Look, dude, If you're showing your tits and you're showing your ass, you reap what you sow.
Okay.
Oh well, I have a right to dress sexy. Look, dude.
They're my tits.
Look, dude. Honestly,
It's
if you
my
want to,
titty.
if you want to feel good about yourself sexually,
I want to suck on it. I will.
that comes with the territory, dude. Based on the society that we live in. So it's just like me. If I fucking go out there fucking in my boxers, people are gonna look at me weird because it's just what society is like. So,
But that's
you know,
what we've been conditioned to
yes, we've been
accept.
conditioned. We've been conditioned for that, no doubt. But me, I shouldn't be surprised. Okay, if I want to walk out there in my boxers and I'm like, hey, fuck condition, you know, like I'm gonna fucking walk out there. In
Earlier
my fucking,
today, Septicon arrested for ripping at his wiener.
fucking indecent exposure. Look, but if I truly feel that and I'm liberated enough to do that, I'll do it. And, you know, I can be like, well, fuck you. You know, like, I don't care, dude. This is me.
The problem
But I
is, though, the
shouldn't-
law will come in.
Real quick, though. Okay.
Is it right, though?
Besides that, it shouldn't even matter. Shouldn't even fucking matter, dog.
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay. Like, it shouldn't matter because, number one, I'm doing it.
In your home.
No, even
If you're not hurting anybody,
You want to walk
if
around
I-
in your boxers
no,
in
no,
public?
Look, if I believe that, dog, look, let's just say I believe that.
Okay.
Like, hey, fucking, we were born naked. I should walk in my boxers.
Yeah. What are they called?
Outside.
Nudists.
Start a
I
religion.
should go out there and walk in my boxers. But I shouldn't be surprised to get the cops on me. I shouldn't be surprised if people are like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Because I already know that that's the kind of reaction it would solicit.
So that's kind of like women. They should kind of already accept what's going to be
Look,
going
dude,
on.
if you're dressed like if your body just shows, that's one thing, dude. But if you're wearing, okay, today at work, dog, I seen this Haina. She had a short skirt. You can see her ass.
Haina is a babe.
Haina is a babe. it's a cholo babe. no, but you know, I seen this chick. She had a really short skirt, and you can see her fucking ass. I'm a fucking guy.
That's
dude.
the fashion these days. As I was saying
But
earlier,
look,
the ass cheeks hanging
My
out.
point
It's like-
being though is that if that chick were to be like, oh, you shouldn't trip. Like you shouldn't be like fucking You're making me fucking think that, dude, by fucking doing that shit.
You know what?
But is it her, like he was saying? We're conditioned, like the television. Like you watch movies, and what are they doing? Subliminal
It
messages,
comes down to
man.
personal responsibility, though, dog. It comes down to
I think
you getting out of
I
that.
think it's a lot of women though. They like the attention. They like the attention because women are very like difficult. They might be telling you like, oh, da, da, but in their mind like, oh yeah, he was checking me out.
Yeah,
you know what I
fuck
mean?
yeah, dog.
And it's just, and I'm not saying all women. Don't get me wrong, but I
A
do.
lot of 'em.
I know a lot of women. You know, and I've been
At least the ones we know.
I've known, and it's just kind of a trip, you know. But then again, you know, there are some women that are voluptuous women. You know, they got the curves. They're born with, you know,
They just wear jeans and a shirt.
and they look amazing in
Yeah.
them, and it fits them amazing. But you know, yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like it comes down to respect. Like it doesn't matter if it's a homeless person who's smelling like, you know, their own piss. Like you still gotta respect people. Like me, like my dad always told me, he's like, look, he's like, you always say hi from, you know, the janitor to the
Yeah.
CEO. You say hi to everybody because everybody has value. Everybody has worth. You know what I mean? And I just feel like the society we live in is like, oh, well, she's wearing it. She should kind of expect it. I kind of agree with you in a way. But at the same time, it's like,
if
well,
you
what
don't-
if a girl, what if a white guy wants to wear a KKK shirt?
He could wear a fucking KK shirt. The motherfucker better not be surprised when he gets his ass kicked.
But should we respect him? Because you were saying respect everyone.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Well,
I can't respect a Kanye West. I can't respect Kim Kardashian.
My point.
No. The thing is that I still respect everybody. I'm not saying I agree with what you do. The respect is not agreeing with what you're doing, what actions you're doing, how you're making your respect is just saying, hey, I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna say hello to you. If you think you're too big a shit to say hello back, that's your own thing. That's what I'm referring to.
Or even if there is a chick there, you know, I've done that many times where there's a fine chick and I don't look at her because I'm like, I'm not gonna disrespect her. But look, okay,
there's a time and a place, is what you're trying to say.
There's a time and a place, but seeing the amount of conditioning that we've been through public school, sexually fucking.
I brought that up, that our hormones are raging.
There you go, the hormones, dog. I mean,
chemical changes.
All of this shit goes down. I know I sound like a teenager. Huh? Barely going through puberty.
But if we can wrap up the show by stating like what we'd like to see, like our planet, you know, and what we want to do to make it a better place, because I think that's what I'm doing. I don't know if you guys are on the same page as me. I know we have different ideas. Me and Mike, we argue all the time, and me and you argue too. That's why I like bringing you guys in, because I like to ask questions and pick at your guys' brain, because I've learned a lot, and I also hope I teach a lot. At the same time, I think that we all, like you were saying, have an individual responsibility.
Definitely.
And, my agenda from the beginning, and I'll continue to say this till I'm gone, is to put an axe into the heart of the mainstream media and for once open people's eyes that it's bullshit, it's garbage, and it's not as popular as you think it is because it's on TV. Fucking see people go, I'm on TV, look. I was talking to the news broadcaster.
This
and
podcast is an example, dog.
this is my fucking TV show, dude, and you're on it, and Mike, and we're
I feel it.
we created our own shit. And that's my agenda. Cepta. It's not to be rich. It's not to be famous. It's just tell people you can do it too. Look at all my flaws. I'm not fucking perfect, but I'm on the show bettering myself, enlightening people, and I will get rid of mainstream media one way or another. And whoever's with me,
and I'm with you because I mean, look, dog, I'm not willing to. We're going into the world, right? Going into the future of where we see
future.
And it's funny because it ties into that. You know, like me as an artist, I view myself differently than I used to. It's not about pleasing other people. It's not about a million views. It's about your substance. What are you? That inner core shit. Like, what do you stand for, dog? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to say? What passion do you have? Where the fuck is that fire? That's me, dog. I like to make people feel. I like to penetrate the shell of people when they listen to me, dog. The way I talk. If you notice, like the way I'm talking now, dog, very methodical in the way I present, the tones of my voice, the way I get into it. I feel when I do this, I'm able to get inside of you.
Yeah.
And
you
that's
grab
what
my
I love.
attention.
That's what I
you're the
love.
attention grabber.
So see, that's where it's at. Now, where I think the
and
world,
that's something that money can't buy.
No, it isn't.
It's something that money can't buy.
And that's something that
because you know what it is? It's realness. And I know we were talking about the word real, but I mean, it's you're being
genuine.
Exactly, genuine.
You know, and it just I think that that's something we lack, and
as a society,
as a country, I'm not going to say as a world because there's another side of the world, more than another side, more than half that are down to earth, that are with their roots, that they view this life more than a commodity. They view it as an event. They view it as they live it.
Yeah.
You know, so going into where I think the world should be, or what I would like to see it in, is focusing more on nature. Use the sun. The sun is the most powerful fucking ball of energy, right? Use the sun. Use the fucking air. Use the water. Get rid of the nuclear power plants, dog. Because, promise you, it's not a matter of if, but when those motherfuckers pop off, we're done. Look at Fukushima. No one mentions Fukushima. We're all radiated, my dude.
That's something
Don't
you
be
wanted to say.
Look, I'll go on record right now, dog. Don't be surprised if 25, 30 years, all of us right here in this fucking room with our peers go through cancer because we've been irradiated and we didn't know. And that's a reality.
And we're holding it in our hands, the phones.
Because look, dog, even, with the brain tumors. But look, this shit takes years to manifest itself. Yeah. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised 50 years from now, you have a major class.
Hey, but you know what the doctor said, right? They said cancer is just bad luck.
Fuck them. They could eat a fucking
That's
dick.
what they said,
Doctors are bad luck, bro, if you go to the fucking wrong one.
You know, every time I hear my parents talk about the doctors, I'm just like, I'm so anti-doctor. I'm like, dude, these guys are drug dealers. Yeah. All they do is try to give you some sort of medication. My dad's like thinking, he's like, you're right. He's like, these motherfuckers got me drinking all these pills and shit.
Well, some of the top scientists in over there in Japan were saying that hemp is the way to go, to get rid of that radiation too.
Look,
they're soaking that shit up somehow.
That's
just a miracle plant, dude.
It is. That's why it's banned.
That's why. Yeah, there you go.
That's why it's illegal.
Just to conclude on this is, people, don't hate. That's the worst thing you can harbor. And I as I tell you that, I tell myself that because I know I can get angry at times. But look. They stimulate the low-lying chakras. You know what a chakra is? Chakras are your fucking... You have 5, I believe, right, Mike? You have 5 chakras, right?
What is that?
Chakras. You have one right here. You have one in your heart. You have one in your solar plexus. One here, your genitals, and one in your feet. So
I'm gonna look that up.
So you have chakras. These are wheels of energy. So I think if you tap into that vibrational, energetic side of you, if you're able to coexist as one body of energy. Because look, dog, all of us are droplets of water, right? We're all, look at us individually. We're all droplets of water, but let's say we do evaporate and we get into a cloud. Guess where we get? We get thrown back into a group of water. big old puddle.
Yeah.
So we're all of the same thing, dog. Like we all are the same. Like we all inhabit Earth. We all look alike. It's just these beliefs that separate us. These races that separate us.
Yes.
You know, so as they separate us, I think the one thing we need to realize is that we have a lot in common, and dialogue is great. And since we're gonna do dialogue, let's stop war. We're in the 21st century. We don't need to take over land anymore. We need to share it. We need to share resources. We need to help each other out. And I'm not talking about...
And I think it starts with information. I really do think it starts with
there
this.
You go, technology. And I'm not talking about a one world currency. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about there needs to be like a common ground in that, okay, dude, we're all in this shit together. So this war on terror needs to stop because it's pissing a lot of people off. We're going into countries that we don't need to be in.
It's a war on people.
You know, here's another thing, you know, entertainment-wise. We need to read more. We need to read literature that educates us on our potentials, that educates us on who we really are. Because we are people, but before we're people, my friend, we're energy. Think of the matter. The matter, we're energy, bro. It's all energy. You know, it's funny. That's why if you touch a headphone jack, it beeps. That's energy, dog. Everyone listening right now, when you hear the sound of my voice, this right now is energy. It's vibration that goes, it's frequency that registers with your dome piece. Every aspect of us are energy.
Stuff we take for granted, man. Stuff
and
that
look,
we just...
dog, when you're saying, no, you're not energy, you're a physical body, and you can do this and that, and you're this, you forget that you
limit yourself,
vibration.
I want to say.
Yeah, you're limited to a physical body.
Yeah, because
with physical attributes.
I truly feel like mental power is just, it's incredible, man. Like, I started this new year, like, I always have discussions with my mom, and one thing I was saying, I was like, yeah, you know what, my whole life, sometimes I'd be dwelling on the past, you know, like, dang, like I coulda, shoulda, woulda, you know. And then sometimes you're dwelling on the future, like, oh, you're so worried about that you forget to live in the now.
You told me
you know?
that.
Yeah,
I think
live in the moment. I think we were discussing that.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm looking at it right now. It's like, you know what? I'm living it for the moment right now. I'm not saying I'm being reckless about it. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But
you're not YOLO, bro. You're living in the moment, dog.
You know, is that I'm living it for what it is right now because I'm happy right now. And I could truly say that as a person. Yeah, everything's not perfect in the world and everything, but you know what? I try my best to make my energy, like earlier I was saying, like, oh, you're mad by choice. Life is all about choices and decisions that we make. And I think a lot of people don't think critically to the possibilities of like, okay, if I do this might alter my life this or this way or that way, you know, whether it be stealing, abortion, graffiti, dropping bombs on people, whatever it may be, you know, but I just feel like communication is key.
Yeah.
Definitely key.
I could agree with that to a degree, but when I'm sick or I got allergies, bro, there's no decision I try to make myself better, but it's like a stagnant feeling of just like I'm fucking broken, you know?
Oh, well yeah, that's a physical. Yeah.
No, well, even
it's upstairs too, though.
Even in physical, dog. Even in physical, it's just like, let's say when you get mad, it's a physical reaction.
Yeah.
Because your face turns, you turn red. Like
your heart.
You get mad. Seriously,
Yeah.
you get mad. So I think if you're able to like, hold on, calm down, count backwards, whatever the fuck
I've done
it
that,
takes.
but with the allergies, I'm like,
No,
calm down.
No,
that's something that you can't really control.
That's different. That's just a reaction. We're talking
But that's
about
life. Sometimes you can't control the traffic. You can't control.
But see, life isn't like allergies, man. Okay, you face a death. Okay, unless like fucking, okay, like some real fucked up shit happens. Like you lose fucking everything. Like my homie, dog. My homie, he lost everything. Okay, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I'll share it because it kind of ties into this.
Made it in 40 seconds, rabbit.
All right, cool. The homie, his wife did some fucked up things to his kids. He got locked up, and she did that while he was locked up. He got out, all this shit was going down, lost his house, everything, dog. So he has to start from the very bottom. But guess what, dog? He's working, dog. He's got a fucking job. He's staying clean. He used to smoke mad weed. Doesn't smoke anymore, dog. He's rebuilding himself back up so that he can have what he once wanted. So that goes to show you that it's doable.
Yeah, it's
possible.
I'll leave you with with a saying, right? With a quote, and it's fucking pain, dog. It's inevitable.
And it's temporary.
Misery is an option, my friend.
Yes, I agree.
Mike, you want to wrap up the show with 1 minute left?
1 minute left. I just want to say thank you to Cepta for coming in. Lou, being inspiring, making this podcast happen. I mean, we're going hard into 2015. Beautiful. Live in the moment, make the best of every situation, every second, every minute. Love those people, give them a hugs, and don't be scared to show your affection and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely be a loving human being, man, because we're all in it for the same. We live on the same planet. We breathe the same air. We drink the same waters,
We live in the same place.
Yeah,
same place,
so
man.
that's how we're going to leave it, man. Keep that mind open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fuck is that? All right, dudes. Later.
Peace. Open your mind, baby.
You tribe, MAE, high limit, yeah, real MCs, dog. Hey, yo, who says that we can't freestyle, right? Yeah. My style's too rough, rugged for you to comprehend. A lot of MCs only begin to decept. Above trend, you thinking you're dope? I grab the microphone and listen, and I'm like, hell no. Step off the mic, I'm ready to explode. A lot of MCs don't know that I'm here to expose the reality of what can be. A lot of people try to front like